mind if I do?
Covino and Rich.
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
Heard all about it on the radio.
Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
What's going on?
It's gonna be that kind of party. I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know you were busting out the sunglasses today.
Oh, yeah.
Spot. I mean, I got a pair if you need them.
You didn't get the memo, Spot?
Mine are in the car.
Beach Party Wednesday?
Nice catch.
Thanks.
We are Covino and Rich. Oh, I get it. It goes with Rich's shirt. Is that what it is? Is that why you
Yeah.
busted out the sunglasses?
Busted out the tropical shirt today.
Sports, entertainment, and life.
What is this?
We be rocking out. We're seeing all. Let's go.
What is this?
Yo, yo.
He was rocking his sunglasses.
Oh my God!
Figured I'd throw my Amber Visions on.
Can't see the board.
All right. Hey, welcome
Oh, I can't even see anything.
to Covino and Rich.
Hitting things at random.
Happy penis. I'm so proud of myself, too. Gabagool. Gabagool.
Lame.
Oh,
are
we're
you?
done? Are we off? Or is it over?
He's got his Jeepies. Are these the like? Where'd you get these, bro?
Probably like H&M years ago. I just grabbed. I saw them on Sarah's desk, so I was like, "Yeah, let me grab 'em."
Okay, I thought those were the freebie Series 6
These are
ones.
really nice.
Those, yeah, those are Ray Bans.
Are these
SK
your?
Bans.
Are these your? I went and got an eye exam glasses.
Yeah,
Nice.
But I got a specific pair ordered.
Oh,
Anyway.
Good catch.
Thanks.
Well, hey, a lot to get to today on a
Really?
Covino and Rich action-packed Wednesday.
I didn't feel like there was a whole lot that was wetting my whistle.
That's good.
Yeah, not a whole lot. Like a weasel on a woodpecker.
Ooh, wait.
No, the news stories were like snooze stories to me.
I thought it was. I thought we were doing another smutty Wednesday.
Oh yeah, Rich
Remember?
had tons
Rich
of
had
smut.
Tons of smut.
Before
to
you get into
discuss.
that, though, I do want to say I hope you had a great Taco Tuesday night. We're halfway there. We're living on a prayer. So
Actually, as the meme goes, I think he's probably like 3/4 of the way there by now.
I'm pretty sure I say that on Lithium today. Catch me on Lithium after the show, channel 34 on Sirius XM. But hope you had a great Tuesday. What did I do? I don't even remember what I
Oh,
did.
wait.
Yeah. Don't
You
even
tell
remember
me.
what I did last night. You know why? Seriously? Not to get anyone concerned. Not feeling 100. Just not. I have pain in my chest constantly.
Yeah, I'm not feeling 100. I think a little cold's going around. I think that's what it is. I'm a little like, meh.
Is it like a cold that stabs your chest? Because
Yeah.
if that's what it is, it makes me feel like, oh, what's going on? I'm real concerned about it. Wakes me up in the middle of the night.
Can't just say a cold's going around anymore.
Yeah, right? I know. So
Can't just say that.
I think you can, right?
I don't know.
think you can.
Yeah.
So I got my doctor's appointment tomorrow, so no worries there. It just kind of ruins my day. So I don't think I did much yesterday. Nothing worthy of discussion, really. So here we are today. We got some fun things
Sweet. Hey,
to
have
do
a good day.
tonight.
See you later.
We're going to be on a podcast tonight, so I'm excited about that. We're going to be on Felipe Esparza's podcast.
What up, fool?
Comedian Felipe Esparza. We'll tell you about that later. But before you get into your smut tales.
Oh, I have a question. Tonight, let's take an over-under.
Yeah. How many foos are dropped?
How many... You took the words right out of my mouth. How many times will you and Felipe together say foo?
I mean, the name of the show is What's Up, Foo.
There's one. Welcome to What's
I
Up,
feel
Foo.
like it's just going to be a lot of back and forth with that. He's like, what's up, fool?
What's up, fool?
I'm like, what's up, fool? And he's like, what's up, fool?
I picture that, like, and you're like, "What's up, Foo?"
And then
he's
I'm like, what's up, fool?
"What's up, Foo?"
I
What's up,
should
fool?
secretly do a foo counter and a vato counter. Because I guarantee
he's definitely
Covino's going to be
dropping
like, well, you
vatos.
know, Felipe, the higher the sock, the downer the fool, or some shit like that. You're going to drop some of your lingo.
He knows that for sure.
I can't wait.
That's tomorrow. What's the over under? Actually, that's tonight. Maybe you'll see it tomorrow. Who knows? I think it's live on YouTube. We'll send out a link later. But we got mail, Spot. Before we get this rumpus started, before we start celebrating.
Isn't that a
on
famous producer? Link later.
This famous Wednesday Spectacular. Oh, I already saw what it was.
I know what it is.
Oh.
Yep, come on.
I want to thank Mario Wrangle the Dangle for this package.
It's not the first time you've thanked him for his package.
Spot, this is for you.
Oh, Spot. Practicing my one-handed
Dickie.
catches.
Nice miss.
What does Battleship Spot mean?
And this one's from me. Nice. This is from our listener, Mario Wrangle.
Does yours say anything above your name?
Dickie Do Right Davis.
Oh, mine says Battleship Spot.
Maybe that's his own little pet name for you.
Mine says Covino, black like your ass.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Wrangle the Dangle.
So Mario Wrangle makes belts.
Yeah, like his new hobby.
Look at this.
Oh, I can't wait to...
Hobby turned business,
What?
by the way. Ooh,
Look at that.
nice leather. Oh, and it's got that. It's got that.
Okay, hang on.
Wilson leather shop smell.
Look at that. Smack somebody's ass with this belt. Oh, how cool is that? I need a nice belt.
Someone's butthole just clenched when I did this.
It's a nice belt.
Oh, remember that? Do you remember
It's a
that?
nice belt. Look at that.
Did you ever get
That's-
this threat? This is the
nice
threat.
quality belt.
You
Look
don't
at
even.
this.
You don't even need to. You don't even need to know or see the belt coming. If you heard this in the distance, you knew that your ass was in for it.
I never got hit, which might have been the problem.
It was probably the problem.
Yeah, I was threatened,
Likely
chased.
the problem.
I was just too
Probably the
fast. I was like,
problem.
I was just juking my parents.
Thank
That's
you,
why.
Mario Wrangle. That was very nice of you, man.
Super dope. Thank you, Mario. You're the guy.
I hope it fits.
And if you're on the Carl pages on Facebook, I'm sure he's got some links up there because I'll send one out later if he has one. He's making some belts. Ooh, and a USA. Perfect for my patio. America! Keychain. I love it. Thank you. Or maybe I'll keep the keychain in my keychain. Get it? My keychain.
Oh, did he also put me a keychain in there for me?
No.
Oh,
I'm just more American than
that's
you guys.
unfortunate.
You gonna be good today, Spot?
I'll keep the keychain in my keychain.
Yes.
You don't want the belt.
Yes. I'll be fine.
All right.
Can't hit your kids the way you used to.
Sounds like the way you used to
Yeah.
back in the day.
No, you can't.
Oh, the
It's,
old.
well, I
I
don't know.
think some of these
I-
kids could really use a pop in the
I
mouth.
feel like
I agree with
even.
Spot.
I feel like you're not even allowed to like threaten anymore because it's so traumatizing. It creates so much trauma in a child and they won't grow up proper.
I don't know at what age.
But
You would
thank you,
even-
Mario. Thank you very much. That was awesome.
What age you would even want to hit a kid? 9, 10? Like what? Like a kid is still so young that you wouldn't even want to hit them when they're like 4, 5, 3.
conditioning.
Like what's
7.
like 7?
Hittable.
What's an age where you're like you wouldn't feel bad spanking a kid? Because as of right now, I would feel
14
awful.
months.
I would feel awful spanking either one of my kids.
Yeah, but you kind of have to.
I would never. I'm not gonna. We're not gonna.
I mean-
Sarah is 100 billion% against like hitting.
I
She's like, I'll never, and you will never lay a hand on either one of them.
You
like,
don't have to use a hand. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, you can hit him with
got a new belt.
You see this case I got?
oh,
You got a
Give me a
brand
little
new leather belt. You got a spatula, a wooden spoon. Rich, go back to your New York roots. Get the wooden spoon and just a little.
Yeah, it's like one of what does Rich wear flip flops for? For that reason.
Oh, chunkless.
Yeah.
You don't even have to hit her with it. You just pull it up, threaten it, and if she doesn't pay attention, then you throw it at her.
Rich just flop.
So you never have to take a hand to your child. There's so many other things you can use.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to make them flinch. You don't want to hit a kid. Just like, ah.
Then 2 for flinching real hard though. Like,
Yeah.
that's the game. So
You
anyway.
know, I think boys and girls are different. We've talked about this before. I mean, society may not think that anymore, but I was talking to Nicole about this
they're
yesterday.
not, because then how do you discipline your girl? It's impossible.
Nicole
Sucks.
and I were talking about this yesterday on the Have Kids podcast. She was saying how her son goes into like shithead mode. And she's like, Matt, her husband, was at one of his soccer games and he was honestly kicking other kids, spitting, talking back. And Matt's like, I want to fucking hit this kid.
Pop him in the mouth.
But they're at like a soccer game and it's like, you can't, that's just not what you do anymore. And there's no worse feeling when your kid's the one acting up in front of other parents and kids. You're like,
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
I remember I had an incident at a supermarket. I'm like, Melanie, you better stop being bad. And then some lady from left field came over. She's not being bad. She's being a child. And I was like, mind your business. I was like, you're right. Okay, fine. You're
Discipline your child how you choose, but do it on your own time. So if your child's throwing a tantrum, don't say, "Oh, that's little Gregor's just letting some steam out in the restaurant."
But there's a difference
You
between
get him out of there.
There's a difference between a kid.
Little
There's
Gregor's.
a difference between a kid.
Or you just do one of these. Whew, the dangle belt.
Ooh, the dangle of the belt.
Oh.
The dangle.
Yeah, you pull it out. Like you
I
just
think Mario just gave us some shit to beat each other with.
you
That's what he gave
undo
us.
it and you just pull it out and you hold it. That's the step before snapping it together.
I do think there's a big difference between.
You should market them Mario's like ass whooping belts. What do you think? Has
Yeah, I
nice
don't
ring
think
to it,
that'll do
right?
very well at all. In fact,
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
By the way, I want to
He made them like sex belts.
Sex belts.
Can I clarify my pop him in the mouth statement?
Sure.
This is chapter 13 in my book. So fun. No, actually, it's the forward, so you know as you're heading into the book. When I say pop him in the mouth, I don't mean backhand your child across the face like Will Smith. I say like it's almost like a little sting, like a little like
Where?
on the mouth,
On the mouth?
because it stings the lips, and they're like, ooh.
Oh, you were serious about that?
Yeah, you pop them in the mouth.
I've never ever
I've never even
experienced
thought
that.
of that.
Like, you know how, that? It's that, but on a child. So it stings, but it's not like you're
Actually,
smacking them across the face.
best
See the
thing you can
difference?
do
There's a difference.
is break something
It's
they
a
care
pop.
about. Because my dad did that once, and I still remember it. Just break some shit that they like.
Pop.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Ben, you like this dinosaur? Uh-huh.
By the way, I love how Raymond thinks
Behave.
I'm serious.
Yeah. Well, no,
I love how he thinks
I
I'm
told
serious.
you a few weeks ago, in a rageful moment, I wanted to smash Emmy's cupcake, and Sarah's like, "You're a maniac." I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" Like she was just being like a really annoying kid at the moment, and wasn't listening. And I so badly wanted to pull a big Steve Covino. What he did with your little guitar when you were a kid. I had bought Emmy at the supermarket a unicorn cupcake. And I so badly wanted to be like, "You see this unicorn cupcake?" And I wanted to smash it, but Sarah's like, "You're a maniac psychopath."
Nowadays, I'm like, I'll break that phone. I'll throw that phone across the room. And
She's like, "No, you won't. Then you'll have to buy a new $1,000
Exactly.
iPhone, Dad. You're,
deep
you're
down, she's
dumb,
like,
Dad.
You're
Do
not
it.
going
Go
to do
ahead.
that. You're not going to do that.
Do you have
Dad.
Apple Care? Didn't think so.
Like, I'll smash that phone. I'll break it into little pieces.
What if you spray with
watch.
a spray bottle? That's a good idea, Lynn. Like a dog, like
Well, that's why I pull out my water pistol.
yeah.
It's very hard to discipline a child, and that's the problem
Well, I mean,
in today's world.
my wife and I, we don't argue about this. We sort of agree on most of it, but Sarah's whole take, which I sort of agree with,
Boys
is,
are easier because I think you can smack him in the head. I
no,
really do.
that's the only thing her and I really disagree on. I agree that
Definitely get a smack in the head.
We're not
just
hitting-
a little like,
yeah, we're not hitting kids anymore.
just a little.
But I'll tell you what, I already could tell. Emmy, I'll probably never lay a hand on her my whole life. But Ben, if he gets to a certain age and he's like talking back and being all, being like testing his like little boy limits, I'll show you how I would hit my son, just to show you. Just to show you.
I mean, I'd rather you not hit me.
I would.
talking-
Hold on.
If it's gonna touch the hair, like don't touch the hair.
No, I'm not going to touch a hair.
I gotta see this.
This is the extent.
He just flinched.
This is the extent.
He just flinched.
Like
Wait, so I'm Sarah, right?
no, like I'm talking like a little. Hey, what are you? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, like that. Like
It's very aggressive,
what would you call that?
scary.
That's like a little like, hey, listen
Like you
up.
shake him.
Blah.
We'll shake.
I can't imagine. I mean, it comes from a different cloth. You see a lot in TV shows, which this is completely sort of a different territory. Back in the day, people were just so accepting of like not only hitting kids, but like shitbag husbands coming home and like taking out their anger on their family. Like, why was that? Like, it took a generation or so for us to be like, yeah, that's not cool or acceptable.
You think what shows were you watching?
Wonder Years.
I don't know. Every show, Spot.
The guy in the father,
Every show where there's a parent, with a dad that comes home in the 50s, 60s or so, is always like, oh, dad's home. And he's like, I had a bad day at work, whiskey, slapping people around. Like, we accepted that for generations.
I mean, I feel like it was like that was always portrayed in a negative light.
Yeah, but
It wasn't
but those
every
they
family
weren't
did it.
arrested. They weren't looked down
The
upon in the
dad-
community. It was like, dude, to the moon,
mean-
like Alice to the moon. Like, he was like threatening to hit her all the time.
Right, but he didn't actually hit her. That's
That was like the
difference.
joke. I
You
know.
remember when
It's a
Archie
joke.
backhanded Edith? She's like, oh, Archie. He's like, gotta be this. Archie. You don't remember that one? He had a bad day at work? You don't remember when George kicked Wheezy?
I'm like, that's why I'm like, what shows did you watch? It was always like there was.
You don't remember when John Amos beat the shit out of Florida on Good Times? Rich does.
He must forget when Ellen Thicke laid it down on Growing Pains. Maggie.
Like, yeah, I know. I know
I'm
movies.
kidding, but I mean-
I know movies that had like.
I don't remember seeing these episodes, but I know what Rich is talking about.
I mean, you don't watch the show, but This Is Us, like Jack's dad.
Okay, so that's the show.
No,
now.
that's the most recent one. But I feel like
That's
when
the
they
show.
portray,
Yes, they're portraying an alcoholic who beat their children.
Dude.
Not every family had an alcoholic who beat their children on
when
television.
people do
Mike
that
Brady
now,
definitely beat Mrs. Brady.
when people do that now, I mean, not all the time, sadly, but most of the time, it's taken care of, and there's family and friends
No,
that support that
it's
person,
not.
and they say
Domestic violence
more than ever you think.
is still a huge issue, especially over the last 2 years when everyone's at home and there are still alcoholics that come home and beat their families, and there's still women that have black eyes and children that are getting beaten. Just because you don't hear about it or see it, it's still happening.
Oh, jeez, here we go. I'm just saying, back then, it was way more,
it was
sadly,
much more
like part of
taboo.
culture. Like, oh yeah, John down the block, like is a fucking shithead.
I mean, there's an obvious reason to this, right?
The fathers,
Like women weren't as independent.
Yeah.
And
But exactly.
they were so dependent
And by the way, I
on
wasn't- that's
this
why I'm-
guy to bring home the
that's-
bacon, and you lived under his rule and his law. And
Like,
would it be his thumb?
I think what you're trying to say is
I'm not saying spousal abuse doesn't exist in 2022.
In reference to the Wonder Years, yes, that's what I picture all dads being like. Coming home, being angry, but being like just giving that look, or just like being like a feared father figure. That's how I picture dads.
We weren't
a
as
feared
evolved.
father figure, but they weren't beating their kids.
That's like less evolution.
Yeah, it really is. I mean,
But
you just saw what your previous forefathers did.
Covino made a great point. Women weren't independent, so they had some sad reliance on their man. Like, well, I don't want to upset Hank. He does bring home the bacon. And we've come a long way since then. I agree, Spot. I'm sure there's terrible cases of spousal abuse now. But 2 generations ago, I'm saying it was sadly almost accepted by a lot of women, which was even worse than now, I'm sure.
I would go.
It's like racism's bad now, I'm sure, but it was worse 50 years ago.
I would lean more to Covino's point. Women are a little bit more independent now, so they have means to escape. There are still women that are like fearful and under the thumb of an abusive.
Yeah, I mean,
an abusive
abuse and discipline are 2 different things. I just think that hitting anyone nowadays, and you saw it. You know what the number one thing about Will Smith in the Chris Rock? It wasn't like, Will Smith, what a psycho, like what a maniac. It was, we don't use our hands to, for disputes. Like, people are very against using your fists, your hands. So you know what? And Rashawn's right. Back then, divorce was frowned upon, so people stayed in bad situations because of the Lord.
And where was that woman going to go? She wasn't working. She was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
She had no money of her own. She was dependent on that piece of shit who would beat her. So it was just a different dynamic back then.
I think kids will still get a little, like I said, a little shove or a little like, hey, watch what you're doing. But the idea of putting a kid over your, like, and slapping their butt, that just seems like very generations ago. We're going to spank you. Plus, a lot of those guys, Green Optimist makes a point. What's up, Green Optimist? I miss you, bud.
Kristen needs a lot of discipline.
He said, yeah, you got to spank it out of her.
You got that belt.
Because a lot of guys back then sadly suffered from PTSD from all the wars, World War I, II, Vietnam.
It was a different generation of guys for sure. And immigrant families, I just think they were more violent. I do.
I would argue too that it was
America was young and violent.
It was
violent people.
It was a time where
it's true.
Agreed.
Men were men, and they didn't talk or express their feelings. Men expressed themselves through aggression and violence.
Ricky would spank Lucy when she behaved bad.
Lucy. Yeah, man.
All right. Well, hey.
You don't remember that episode? He came home after he did his Babalu thing, and he was like, and she's like, no,
This is
Ricky.
terrible. This is like
You play the butt bongos.
like a really terrible issue. Let me lighten it up. No more abuse and discipline talk.
Yeah.
You
this
said you
went
did
from
nothing yesterday?
Disciplining your kids
I
to
did something-
beating your wife.
I did
like
something
that.
yesterday that
But by the way, it goes both ways. Women think they could just start pounding on a dude because guys could accept it or handle it. That goes both ways, man. I bet you Jada Pinkett Smith was beating the shit out of Will all the way home.
Can't
That's
be
not
doing
okay.
that.
Yeah.
Can't be doing that.
So I think because guys have shown so much restraint and have changed for the most part compared to what we were just describing, have evolved in a different way, women are now taking their aggressions out on their weenie husband who's like, oh, you're right, honey.
There was a generation.
That doesn't give them the right to put their hands on a guy.
This is a great way to sum up two conversations that are intertwined but not. It's more about just using physicality, whether it's sadly abuse or discipline. Our parents and grandparents tell stories about how like nuns hit them with rulers. Imagine a teacher fucking hit a kid now. Imagine you got to call like, Dad, the teacher was slapping me with a ruler.
You'd be livid, yeah. You would
Parents
not
get
okay
mad when their kids are told they're wrong. Like, now it's gone too far. But
how did we get here? We got new belts.
And our first thought was
to whip some ass.
To whoop some ass.
Even though I was never whooped with a belt in my life. My parents would tell me to go to my room. I'd be like, so? What do you mean, to go play Nintendo? Sure. I had a VCR, which was big in that day. I had cable. I had scrambled boobies.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'll go to my room. Whatever. I was a good kid. So
if you watched our Behind the Velvet...
How do you do that now? Earthquake actually had the suggestion in his last comedy special. He was like, he had the number one way to discipline your child.
Oh.
Turn off the Wi-Fi. He said the kid comes running down like, what's going on?
That's a good one.
He said they
can't function.
Yeah, no.
What did you do?
No more Wi-Fi. Kids freak out. He said, I don't know if you could find it, Spot, but Earthquake's solution is to shut off the Wi-Fi. But then
you're punishing yourself.
Punishing yourself because your kid's a little shit. But that's his solution on the special produced by Dave Chappelle, Earthquake.
If you listened, if you watched our Behind the Velvet Rope with my mom, she talks about how I was rarely punished as a kid, and when I was, I just annoyed her until she just said go.
Yeah, kids know that.
Just go.
Kids are smarter than ever, man.
Well, we brought it up, like you said, because we got belts. And you know what?
You chose a brown one?
I didn't choose a brown anything.
Oh.
He gave me a brown one. I'm thankful for it.
Well, because he asked and Rich didn't choose.
That's what it is, because he asked me too, and I said black.
You know what? You know what? It's good, though. You know why? I have black belts. I don't have a brown belt.
You ain't got no black belt.
You ain't got no black belt. You can't.
Fucking Miyagi, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm like Seagal.
You're like Seagal.
Give me one shot and tell me you're not scared of this.
Moving in slow motion.
Man, Ben is going to be an ass kicker when he grows up.
You know it, bro.
Not that the brown's not dope. The brown is dope. It just doesn't go with as much. Unless you're rocking brown shoes all the time.
You're not even intimidating with a belt.
Thanks, bud.
You have the Earthquake clip?
Ben's just going to laugh in your face.
He's going to punch me.
Sure, Dad.
Dad, you keep you stay in line.
Listen here, Benny boy. I'm going to... Sure, Dad. Come get back to me when you have the biggest dick in the house.
And I hate to be that parent, but it gets tougher and tougher, and I can imagine it only gets tougher. I saw my dad lose it. I saw my dad when my sister was a teen. I'm not sure my dad ever like recovered from it. When Grace was the first girl that sort of broke all the rules, and she was the first to grow as a teen.
Well, your mom does point out...
I was the oldest boy, but I sort of did what I wanted.
Your mom points out quite a bit that...
There was a double standard.
Of your siblings, like, you actually were a great boy, and your sisters misbehaved, especially Grace, right? She was like...
She was like the worst.
Like a bad kid.
But she's like a super sweet person.
And that's the oddest because, of all your sisters, your sister Grace is like a sweetheart.
Yeah, she was just like a
bad kid.
Annoying. I don't know.
Annoying kid.
Can't describe her because she's really a sweet person. But she would drive my parents so crazy. I don't even know what happened, but I remember my dad, like, remember when Lambert, the sheepish lion, when Lambert went from a sheep and remembered he was a lion? I feel like that happened to my dad because my dad was always a laid back kind of guy. But then my sister Grace pushed his button so hard. I remember one time he was like, yeah. He turned into like the Incredible Hulk. Like he busted through his Levi's. And he turned into a raging lion. He turned into a raging dad. And he took my sister's television and he threw it down the steps. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, whoa, man, my sister's the worst.
She is a bad kid.
My dad's hair's all messed up. He's turning green and red, and he's angry. And he's ripping his clothes off.
I'm sure we're all going to have that moment once.
I swear, my dad had a look in his eye where it looked like he had a stroke or something because his eye went all crooked and shit. Like, I'd never seen my dad so mad ever. I think he blew a fuse that was never fixed again.
Like when he reset the fuse box,
because my dad was like the most laid back dude. Now you talk to him today, he's a grumpy guy. And I think my sister set him off, and he was never the same again.
Yeah.
So what year was that? That was man, my dad,
late 90s,
my dad
early
took a
2000s.
TV, ripped it out the wall. You like the TV? It went falls out of steps. I was like, oh, the TV.
Dad blew a fuse.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you, because kids push your buttons that hard and that far, and the only way to fix that today, Spot, is according to Earthquake. According to Earthquake.
Fuck these kids.
Fuck these kids.
Put your hands on no kids. Your kids ain't doing what they're supposed to do. I done found their Achilles heel. I know exactly what you can get, how you can get them. They ain't doing what the fuck they supposed to do. Found their weakness. No, it ain't the phone. No. All you need to do, turn that motherfucker Wi-Fi off. That shit like crack. I ain't lying to you. My son, he be upstairs. I be calling him, come downstairs. Nigga, act like he don't hear me. I don't even call him no more. He don't do what the fuck he supposed to do. All I do is unplug that Wi-Fi. And they come to daddy, we ain't got no signal. Signal, daddy, signal. I was playing Fortnite.
It's true, man. You got no legs to stand on. You got no wiggle room as a disciplinarian, especially me. And I'm not just saying this because it's me, but especially when you're in a co-parenting scenario.
Oh.
You have to imagine there's so much awkward involved because she'll tell her mom, I'm the worst. I can't handle the mom will be like, oh, what's going on there? And then you really don't want to discipline in front of the new person, which would be Jordan in this scenario, because it's awkward. And now she sees me looking like my dad did when he threw the TV down the steps. Like the whole thing is embarrassing and awkward, and you have no room to discipline, you know?
Jason Brown makes a great point on our feedback. Sometimes you need to lose it. Not hit them. You need to just lose your cool.
But my dad never recovered.
No, so that your kids know you're capable of fucking shit up. Like, you need to have a Big Steve throw a TV down the stairs moment so your kids know, Daddy don't play.
My dad was never the same. True story. Man. So, hey, good luck with that shit. Good luck.
Oh, yeah. Don't turn off the Wi-Fi. Just change the password, and all of a sudden your kids will be kicked off, and you'll be like, no, I'm cool. I'm good.
That's actually great advice.
I'm good.
Earthquake has to take it one step, because when I was watching that is good, but now you don't have Wi-Fi unless you change the password. Good idea. Thank you.
A lot of people saying that before you know it, Ben will use his belt on me, and I'll be like, how was your day at school, son? Well, hey, one more parenting thing, and then it's a Smut Wednesday. I got a couple news stories that I think are interesting. We'll get to. But yesterday, I went to the park, and you see, you have a daughter, 11 years old, Melody. 12, that's right, Jesus. One kid.
Leave Jesus out of this.
Versus two. You know what it's like? I don't know how to describe it. It's like when you go to a park with one kid, you got one set of eyes, you got one kid. You could chill out, you could casually look at your phone every 10 seconds, be like, right, where are they? Where are they? Impossible. Look me in the eyes when I tell you this. Impossible for you to take two little kids to the park, one parent. I know it's done all the time in co-parenting situations. I know there's a lot of times where mom or dad's working or they're busy and the other parent's like, yeah, I'm going to take the kids to the park. You have to be the most active, on your feet maniac to watch a 2 and a 4-year-old at a park. Where's this one? Where's that one?
Dude,
that one's climbing. This one's climbing.
I always frowned on the person that kept their kid on a leash, but now I understand. You got to put a little collar on Ben, I think.
Yeah, put him on a leash.
Give him one of those monkey backpacks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's one of those scenarios.
Get him like one of those like dog things where you like nail it into the ground.
Yeah.
and then you put it in a central location.
Bring one of those runners.
And then he can go within a radius of that little.
Spot. You know what? I'm gonna send you a
There's
picture.
nothing scarier when you feel like you can't see your kid in the jungle gym. Like you'll lose your. I've definitely ran around the playground screaming Melody's name, and parents are looking at me like, "Oh man, I hope he finds his daughter." It's the worst.
It's the most adrenaline-filled anxiety moment. If you watch This Is Us, I don't want to give anything away, but last night
we were raised, Rich, with a huge fear of this because of like the Adam story, Adam Walsh, and remember John Walsh and kidnapping, and that kid was beheaded if I'm not mistaken. But kidnapping was such a big thing when we were growing up that. And it still exists. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I feel like with our generation, we're so hypersensitive and hyper aware of someone could take our kid. Someone's going to take our kid. Be kidnapped.
Dude.
Truthfully, they might not even want your ugly nose-picking kid.
Yeah, dude, it's wild to me how
wild stuff.
So quickly you could freak out.
Yeah.
Well, if you watch
your kid, climb in 1 second, then the next second they're in the bubble tube, and you're calling their name and they're not answering. And then you start having that, like you said, the heart starts to pound.
If you watch This Is Us, last night was a very emotional.
I watched This Is Gus. It's the Greek version.
Oh, that's a good show.
It's on Greek TV. Yeah. This Is Gus.
Oh, it's about him opening a Slovakia stand.
Yeah, it's a totally different show. But I like it better.
You like it? Episode 1 was You Like It a Juice, right?
Yeah. This Is Gus.
This Is Us last night was...
It's all in Greek, but I read the subtitles.
Emotional, intense. I was freaking out because earlier in the day, I'm not exaggerating, it was probably only 15 seconds. But during those 15 seconds, I was like, Emmy, ah! Like she goes through a tube and you're like, where'd she go? And we're in a gated-in park. I'm like, she couldn't have gone anywhere. For her to disappear, someone would have had to grab her, hop a fence, and be like, ha-ha!
Listen, when Dad called your name... You respond. I've had,
How many times have you said that?
A bunch, because I shit my pants a few times.
Emmy, when Dad is saying Emmy out loud, don't you dare ignore me. Answer me. Just be like, hey, Dad. Like, those freak out moments. And then all of a sudden...
Again, when we were kids, way back on a Wednesday, every news story was about this kid was taken from the mall. This kid... I don't know if kids were cuter back then or that's what led, that's what got people's attention. This kid was kidnapped. This kid was stolen in a van. And this kid was, you're like, man, kids are being kidnapped all the time. I better watch out.
Before technology, it was easier to just snag kids and get away with it.
Yeah. So
there were less cameras.
We have this instinct of like, we get scared like that. If we don't see our kid for more than, like you said, 5 seconds.
Dude, it was 15 seconds.
They're kidnapped. Truthfully, I think, some of your kids would be returned right away.
See,
I tried. This kid's a pain in the ass.
Like Don's,
you have him back.
Don's missing the point. He goes, well, it'll be easier to watch your kids if you're not on your phone. No. Big playground. No, not at all. Big playground. It's like missing the point 100%. Yeah. I do like Don and his lasagna and his fez. Yeah. But not the point at all. It's, you have two little kids that are both capable of falling. You can't be a helicopter parent. If they fall, they fall. But Ben's too. So sometimes he'll climb up on some high shit. And I'm like, what if he leans back and doesn't realize there's no back and all of a sudden he's like, ah!
Some kids have to learn the hard way.
Well, as you know, little boys are way more ballsy than little girls in some
They're
of these
like
cases.
Dragon Ball Z.
And you're in the playground and you're like, all right, Ben's here, Emmy's there. Then Emmy starts running that way and you're like, yeah, then you don't want to be a dick, but you're like, Emmy, can you play on this area because your brother's here? And she's like, but I want to play over there with my friend. I'm like, all right, let's bring Ben over there. And then she moves. 2 kids, 1 parent. I know millions have done it through the history of time, but anxiety levels are at an all-time high. 1 kid, 1 parent. You can keep your eyes on. You can even be on your phone being like, oh, you good, kid? All right, 1, 2, every 10 seconds or so. Oh, there she is. All right, cool. Yo, 1 kid, 1 parent, 2 kids. Not easy at all. At all.
Why don't you tie them together?
I should be like, you guys. I try to encourage them. Like, hey, play with your brother. Because I want them together.
Tether them. Because think about it. Think about how hard it is to steal 2 kids at once. If you're going to steal 1 kid, sure. But if you got 2 kids together, you're like, oh, fuck, now I got to pick up this one. I got to pick up the other. That's double the hassle.
The worst is the jungle gyms, though, because once they enter those tubes, you're just trying to follow their heads every time there's like a little like
Then you look like,
space where they're like,
I know.
You look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Jingle All the Way, like trying to get that ball from the kid.
yeah, no, it's the worst. It really is the most scary feeling.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst.
But again, I feel that's embedded in us because every story on the news when we were little was about kidnapping. I think it traumatized us. So
the park, a success, but fun for the kids. How do I describe it? There's, you know how like a lot of parents will say, yeah, we took a vacation to Disney. And they're like, yeah, now I'm more stressed than ever. I took a week off from work. And that wasn't a vacation at all.
Need a vacation.
They need a vacation from the vacation.
Right.
I see my kids at the park and the joy they're having. I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. You never, before you're a parent, you don't realize those moments aren't like you just sitting on a bench and your kid's having fun. The whole time you're like, where'd they go? They went in that tunnel tube and they never came out the other end. Melody, Emmy, it's wild.
Yeah, wait until like, then it sucks because then other kids start picking on them. Bullies get involved. So much gets involved. It's a nightmare.
I see my
social
son,
media.
I see my son Ben next to kids that are older than him. He's their size. They're like, how old is he? He's 2. He's trying to play with the bigger boys, and he's just too gutsy. Like Ben will climb up on some shit that he has no business doing. And one dad at the park's like, yeah, they fall. That's how they learn. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know if I want him falling from fucking the 20-foot slide on his head.
What, like a construction crane? Like things he has no business doing?
Yeah. Josh, with you 100%, Rich, went through the exact situation that weekend. At least I was with friends. They look out for each other. I get it, but still, it's like, man. Lonnie saying he's going to Disney in June. Can't wait. Good hack. Put your kids in bright neon colors. Very easy to keep track of them.
Like a suitcase at the carousel.
Yeah, like put a little ribbon. Like Spot
yeah.
puts a ribbon on his suitcase.
Yeah, do that.
Make them wear like a football helmet so they stand out.
A bright yellow cone on their head.
Oh, there
That's
he
the
is.
ticket.
Right there.
That's it. Take it.
You know, it'd be the worst if you wore a red and white striped shirt. You'd never find him.
Where are they?
Like, where is this guy?
It's weird because everyone else is wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, don't ever dress your kid in a red and white striped shirt.
Why is everyone wearing the same shirt?
Always hard to find.
But not a hat. I don't get it.
It's a Where's Waldo joke. Not that good of a joke.
It's a good one.
But it's all right.
All right. So that was my story from the park. I'm trying to send you a picture, Spot. And again, this always happens where I can't send a picture to our Covino and Rich text message. What do you think that is?
Sarah, shut off your Wi-Fi. Teach you a lesson.
I can't explain your phone.
You're right about the kid thing with the leash.
I swear to you,
I would never put my kids on a
make
leash.
fun of my parents would be the league leaders of talking shit.
No.
Look
Mine
at
were.
that family.
Mine were.
Keeps their kids on a leash like they're dogs or something. What a bunch of assholes. My parents would shred any family who had their kid on a leash.
If
But
your
now
parents-
I would be all for it. I'd be like, yeah, throw that kid on a leash.
If
He's
your
uncontrollable.
If your parents are the league leaders, my parents must have just missed out on leading the second place. My mother was kids on a leash. What type of shit parents are them? They can't watch your kid on a leash. What is it?
I'm all for it because I don't want to lose my kid. Give him one of those backpacks. I said the monkey backpack. You know those backpacks they like attach to the parent. Yeah, where they can only go so far. Yeah, that's what I think. I think, especially a kid like Ben.
If it gave you peace of mind,
Yeah.
let me ask you this question: if it gave you peace of mind, would you have a chip implanted in your child?
That might be bit
there's
much.
other
Maybe
things
a
you
little
could
bracelet,
do.
a little watch, a little Apple Watch or
Jamesy
something.
boy wears a watch.
Cut
and-
that off.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
I'm talking about something implanted, a little chip in the arm, like a little chip in the arm. Boop.
It's
A little-
scary.
Little injection. Boop. Boop. Like a little dog, like a dog.
Beep, boop.
Do it to your dogs. A little dog. Little chip.
Raymond's right. He goes, I don't know. Some kids need a leash.
Yeah.
I agree. I growing up,
Some kids need a cage.
I always thought that was the worst because my parents said it was the worst.
Hey, Spot,
And it doesn't look good. I get
it
it,
come
but
through, Rich?
I understand
I
now.
sent it to your personal text message. For some reason, CNR is
so
not working. But
annoying.
this is one of the. I'll just show you just to sort of put a little bow on the story. There was one time where I'm like, Emmy, and then the 10 seconds of,
This defeats the purpose of my system.
It's the worst.
and then I look up and you'll Spot will show you where I found Emmy, and she is My kids both got pretty brave real quick, which I admire. I don't want them to be the little pussy scaredy cats on the playground. But the more courageous they are, that gives you dad anxiety, right? Like, not that you want your kid to be a pussy, but do you want your kid to be the kid that's like doing the risky shit? Sort of, maybe, because it makes them like brave, but
maybe Ben's going to be a little parkour kid.
Dangle.
Jumping off of rooftops.
Mario Rango offered to make a leather strap for the kids.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, buddy.
Nice.
Rashawn said,
No,
I'd rather...
collar. Ben needs a collar.
Oh, yeah,
It's a collar attached to a leather strap.
With a little tag on it. It says Ben.
Because that's his wrestling gimmick.
Yeah. And that way you can keep, a watch of them.
Yeah, Rashawn said, I'd rather lose my kids than use a leash. That's how I think parents felt in the 80s and 90s.
Which one
Yeah,
do you
but
want?
my parents...
Either one.
They
But-
frown on any sort of new sort of thing. Like,
So-
the first time they saw anyone with, like, a baby Bjorn, they're like, look at that sissy.
Can't they fucking hold their kid?
Who
What
holds their
shit
kid
parents?
like that? Like, what? Look at this guy. What an asshole. And then here I am as a dad with like my little baby Bjorn. And I know my parents are just shitting all over me when I send them the picture.
Is it the backpack or the sling?
That's like, when you carry the kid in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. My parents...
Diaper dude?
You know what it proves, Covino? My parents and your parents, very different, but when they have the same things in common, I assume it's universal. Yeah. Every parent in the 80s or 90s. What's with that? Shit parent. Everyone was a shit parent. Oh, they sent their kid to school camp all summer? They don't love their kids. Shit parents. Everyone was a shit parent if they didn't do what they did.
Yeah.
Should we reveal this week's Tier 2 Plus or Plus tiers, what they get?
Oh, yeah.
They get your interview with the diaper dude.
Oh,
Swear to
sweet.
God.
That's a
Swear
good
to
one.
God.
Oh, because it caused a big fight. That's why.
That's a
It
good
caused a
one.
big fight.
The diaper dude.
If only.
Spot.
If only we could send Rich back. This Rich back to that Rich. Oh, my God.
Oh, well, listen,
This
man.
Rich back to that Rich.
Rich would poke and prod at anything that was new to my life as a dad. It would bother me.
Right. Anything parental Rich.
Yeah.
If you saw
Can't believe you would go all the way back for Melody.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I was such a, I was sort of a macho guy who would tell everybody to go fuck themselves. But here I am now doing all these different things.
No, I listen. I go back and I'll tell you this. I'll say this. I was so wrong on certain things as far as making your life easier and accommodating your kid. Because sometimes it's not giving into them; it's making your life easier.
Yeah.
However, I'm not talking shit, but you didn't have, let's say, the most cooperative team. So I always thought that you went above and beyond. And but a lot of my criticisms were not really aimed at you.
Oh, that's fair.
So that's what I'll say.
But you could go back in time.
but-
Look at Emmy. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm like, Emmy, where are you? She's at the top and that thing goes lower. That's like the top tier of like 3 tiers. I'm like, yo, you're pretty brave, kiddo. That's where she was when I couldn't find her for a second.
Are those ropes?
Yeah.
If it was 1980 something, those things would be made of
Right. It would be
Death steel.
that big dome.
Yeah.
Of death steel. Remember that?
It'd have spikes on them.
The dome of death steel.
Yeah, it would be much safer. Good times way back on a Wednesday. Stony Homie says, where are the spikes? On the ones we used.
Oh, yeah.
Not the new ones. New ones are nice and beautiful. Playgrounds out here, they got the rubber on the pavement, like rubber pavement.
I like that rubber pavement, but you know what? I'm torn. I don't know if I'd rather burn myself on a hot metal slide or get static every time the kid goes down the plastic slide.
This one.
The plastic slide with the static.
There's Benny Boy.
A spot we can't see.
Oh, he's there. Sorry. Let me pull it up. But he's there. It's the picture of Ben that you sent me.
Oh, okay.
Just relax.
There you go. Yeah, he's going down the slide, having fun. Yeah, they listen. That's
Is that Marianne?
yeah, that's Marianne.
Or your new Mexican nanny?
That's Mariana.
Like, did
You know what sucks, dude? This is true. I'm not even kidding you since we're talking like, dad life and kids. My sister Grace, I don't know how to say this without sounding racist. I don't think it is racist. She's the darkest of the crew. Sister Grace is a darkie. Is that racist?
Jesus.
She is.
Well, he's saying
She's
it.
my
He's
sister.
a sister. He's Mexican.
Right? Like my brother looks more Italian than
He looks like you.
I do. No, he's more of a Italian. He looks more like my dad. Right? I got more of the look of my mom.
When you were his age, you guys looked exactly the same.
I mean, we're brothers. There's a similarity. We all kind of look the same. My sister Grace is really darker. She has darker features than all of us, right? She's beautiful though. Very pretty woman. even though she looks like she's 15. And her kids are very fair-skinned, like really white and super adorable. But she gets the whole
she gets the nanny assumption.
Nanny thing all the time.
I can see that because
and I want to strangle the people, although I understand. But when she tells me these stories, I want to strangle them for her. Because people immediately think
I get
that
it. I'll
she's
tell you why,
the
though.
nanny.
I'll tell you why, though.
And those are the two white kids she watches. And she's like, no, excuse me, these are my kids. But in today's day and age, you can't make that assumption, man. A lot of mixed kids, a lot of mixed families, and they're not all gonna look the same.
I did notice that because my mom was at the park.
Yeah.
And I still stand by one parent, two kids, because my mom's like heads in the clouds. Like she's a great grandma as far as loving goes.
Right.
But
wait a second, Rich's mom was there.
I would certainly not allow her to like bring the kids to the park, like one of them by herself. Like, it's how we're now.
If she's anything like my mom, she can't see anyway. My mom would have been cheering on some other kid. Like, Mom, that's not even Melody.
But my mom did make the observation of, well, there was like a few like cute moms at the park.
Yeah.
But most of them are nannies.
Oh, yeah.
And
I agree.
I feel
I've
like
always noticed that.
I'm with my kids and I'm like, yeah, look at all these other kids. And Emmy was playing with some little blonde boy. And he was with some like old Asian lady. And then she was playing with some little black kid. And he was with some like Hispanic, like grandma. And I'm like, all these kids got nannies.
Dude,
like everyone at the park. So
it's the way.
Yeah.
It really is. So people are going to assume my sister's the nanny of her two little half Irish kids.
Yeah. Oh, it makes sense. People got to work. People got to do things. Not everyone's schedule's weird like ours. So there you go. That was my afternoon spot. I sent you a video. I don't know if it came through, but if not, just the kids at the playground. A lot of fun. Living the dad life before you get to the smut.
Did you email it?
No, I texted it to
That's
you.
the beauty of our show.
Fine.
We talk about raising kids.
Life. And one more thing about...
And next we're going to talk smut.
One more thing about the dad life and raising kids. You unboxed our belts from Mariel Wrangle, which got us on the whole parent stuff anyway. Because it turned into hitting your kids or not. As you unboxed that, I'm thinking, I never thought my kids would be obsessed with this little boy. But there's a kid, Calvin
Harris.
They pumped their fist.
Calvin Harris.
Calvin Kaizen? CKN Toys. He's the little Asian kid that unboxes things and just has these little videos of him doing like a treasure hunt. There's a video of this kid doing a treasure hunt. Little cute Asian boy. He's got a little pirate hat on with a map.
Short round?
Calvin.
Oh.
They've made tens of millions of dollars.
Not to sound racist, but is there anything cuter than a little Asian boy?
Well, maybe that's the key as to why this kid unboxes things and makes millions and millions of dollars. But he is now on my kids' radar. Like we'll put on YouTube, and they're like, we want him. And it's Calvin, little Asian kid going on a treasure hunt, wearing a pirate's hat and a map. They will watch him for hours.
Calvin's the guy, huh?
By the way, the videos, I think one of them I saw was like 300 million views.
What's his name? Calvin what?
Calvin Kaison. Kaison.
Love watching other kids do things.
Let me hit
They
up my
love
sister
they love
Grace.
the colors. They love the surprises. They love all the adventure.
Your kids watch Calvin, and who's
My-
that kid that goes on those dinosaur hunts? ?
My niece, my other niece now watches these things, but they were obsessed.
Well, there's a guy. Apparently, there's Ryan's World, but this Calvin kid spot. YouTube Calvin, and honestly, maybe the first thing that pops up will be this treasure map thing. Hundreds of millions of views, and it's nothing more than a dad being like, videotaping his kid being like, "I got a pirate ship, let's go," and he's just running around, and other kids want to watch him.
Yeah.
Wild to me.
It's been going on for a minute, man. And I know there's a famous, like I said, like some sort of Ranger Rick type of kid, some sort of Indiana Jones kind of kid that kids love.
Short round?
I don't know if it's the same kid.
This kid?
Yeah, this kid.
This is Calvin?
Yeah.
He's adorable.
This video only has 21 million views. Sorry.
Only 21 million might be new.
21 million views of this kid.
Treasure X? Let's follow it and see if we can find anything. According to this map, the treasure should be in my backyard.
It's just a kid like doing the most simple, like finding a treasure in his doghouse.
I hope the parents are using this money to send this child to fancy college.
I think I read last year they made $32 million.
I believe it, and I hope they use that money for their child because they're exploiting their child for money.
I'm like, Emmy, you should date this kid.
Send me that article. I'll send it to Melody. Okay. See what this kid generated last year? What are you doing?
Yeah, stop talking on your phone.
Yeah, get off the TikTok.
Get off the TikTok.
That and Blippy. Blippy's all the rage in my house.
Go make some money.
Blippy.
You're 12 years old now. Go make money. This kid's 4.
Kid's 4 making $32 million. Nah.
What do you got?
32 million.
You want to live here?
Pay me in headaches.
You want to live here? Go out and make some videos.
I don't know if pressure. People are saying, is there a lot of pressure on that kid now? I'm thinking, I don't even think he knows how famous he is.
Look,
and he could live a
that's
normal.
That's all the emotional damage waiting to happen from NW.
Emotional damage? I don't know. I think maybe
emotional damage.
Maybe the kid grows up to be normal and he just gets a surprise from his parents. Like, hey, you know when you were little, you didn't realize it? We were videotaping you. And in your bank account,
because it doesn't
you have $50 million.
No, because it doesn't end there. And then once he gets too old to do these things, then they're going to start exploiting him in other ways. And I mean, like trying to send him on auditions and all this. And then he's going to start hating it.
I don't know, man.
But they're going to force him to do it because he was like, you were a child star. You need to do this.
Maybe
keep it going. And then he's going to feel let down and miserable about himself.
Or maybe his family just has a toy line and he's the heir to his millionaire. He has a toy line at like Target and Walmart and stuff like that. This
kid's going to be smoking crack in a back alley someday.
I hope not, Spot. I hope.
It's going to be like, you know who I read about? Remember
the kid from...
what did they call him? Remember the strongest kid in the world? He was like super famous. I always see articles about like how his life just was so tough after that. Oh, Little Hercules. Remember Little Hercules? Yeah, remember Little Hercules was internet famous?
What's he up to?
Yeah, that's what the stories are. It's like there was so much pressure on him to be the Hercules kid that eventually he hit a point where he's like, I don't want to be Little Hercules. His parents, I think he had like crazy Russian parents or something. Like, I make for you to lift weights. And then, he's 3 years old, benching 500 pounds, and he became an online internet sensation. And then he went through a lot of like trials and tribulations, a lot of depression, because he was trying to live up to that hype, and he wasn't the cute little muscle kid anymore. And Little Hercules is, became like a little fat teen, and then now he's just a regular guy.
He has an Inside Edition video.
Who, Little Hercules?
Little Hercules.
Yeah, he's back. He's back because he's an adult with a beard now.
That kid? Yeah. I remember that kid.
Yeah, but he's like 3 in that picture. I must break you.
What is he now?
I make for you to lift 100 pounds.
Here's him now.
Yeah, see? There he is.
No.
Yeah, he's all depressed.
Oh, that's so sad.
See, that's what happens when you push your kids
too soon.
And he had a lot of health problems too, I think, because, it's not good for a kid in diapers to be having abs.
Rich, have you considered going this route? Like, have you considered, I hate to say the word, have you considered exploiting your family? Because there is money to be made in this world.
I've talked to Sarah about that because sometimes Sarah will make
Sarah's good at making videos.
Like Sarah makes these creative videos, but never does anything with them. And I said, we have really cute kids. And I was like, do you know how many like quote families there are on TikTok? Like the Johnson family. And they make corny videos and they have millions of views. I'm like,
I told you.
Should we give our shot at that? Or is that
I think you could build a following. If you do,
I hate to state the obvious too, though, Spot. There's a million cute kids. I know, right? There's something about that little Asian kid, just like anyone in Hollywood. Something about him that's captivating. I'm not saying that your kids aren't.
No, I know what you're saying, yeah.
There's a million kids on YouTube.
It's like Impractical Jokers.
Shit.
Everyone thinks they could do it, but there needs to be that.
There's something, there's an it factor there that we can't even figure out, but kids are seeing it and liking it.
Yeah, like there's a video or series of videos that my young niece watches. A for Adley. It's just this family and this girl, and they just do all this stuff.
A for Ashtreaks. That's what I was watching.
That's great. A for Adley. And it's just like an awkward, just like a normal looking family. And they just do stuff with their kids, and they make millions, and they get millions of views. Like this is the family.
Yeah,
look, that's the family.
Normal family,
nothing special.
Like cute mom,
Nothing special.
Dad needs a haircut.
See,
Dad
now,
needs
Rich,
a haircut,
maybe
got
you
a
think
beard.
like, you're
They go on road
going to be the
trips.
greatest because you're all very good looking and everything, but maybe other families won't relate to that.
Like this video has.
But then again, it works for the Holderness family, but maybe he's goofy enough where people like it.
Like Rich, this video of them making a leprechaun trap a month ago has more views than you giving Sarah a dog, which is our most viewed video.
Not surprised.
Wow.
It's crazy how these things go super viral.
Hey, it's an odd thing, and you can't discourage your kids necessarily if they want to do this because it is an avenue now to make money. It's the same as someone saying back in the day, I want to be a rock star. I want to be an actor. Someone wanting to be a YouTube star, someone wanting to be internet famous.
Yeah, Chad Kruger changed the lyrics to the song.
Yeah, I want to be a
YouTube star.
YouTube star.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
No, I don't think that's right.
My sister just hit me up. She said, if your kid likes Calvin, then Ben will love Dino Dan. You're not on Dino Dan yet?
Let me write down
Dino Dan. Apparently, I think Dino Dan was so big, they went to go see Dino Dan. He's just a little nose-picking kid. He's probably got a mustache now, but they'd see him tracking dinosaurs. He's down by the river, which is probably a little stream in his backyard. But
I'll be honest.
I would watch them. Remember, I lived with my sister. It was a really great time in my life where I lived with them, and I would watch them watch these videos, and they were all about Dino Dan.
I think about this. Amanda hits us up. She goes, I thought you had something cooking, something going when you had Emmy do the cooking videos. And I'll be honest, if they would have, let's say they would have got a little more pop up front, I probably would have really tried to push it.
That's your problem.
I think that's not a good idea.
You need instant gratification.
No, I think you got to let them
These things are a build.
want to do it. Like, you could encourage them.
You
Hey,
think that
did
little,
you like
you
that?
think that little Asian Emmy
That
likes
does-
doing
that
the
doesn't
videos?
make it right. It's like, hey, do you like that? And if they like that and they want to do that, then you encourage it.
No, but I'm saying
Otherwise, if you're the one leading that, I don't know if that's good
but
for
I'm saying
kids.
a 4-year-old's not going to lead it. Do you think that little Asian kid
But
that
you'll
made $30 million
know
was like,
if-
Dad, let's do, it's time to post something.
Hey, man, look, what I'm trying to say is there's a fine line between little Hercules and some kid that really just loves to do that.
No, of course. But I'm saying when Emmy and I, let's say, make a pizza, make a cake, a pizza pie. When we make those cooking videos, I mean, it's something we would be doing anyway, and I just tape it and do a little fancy edit. And once in a while, I'll be like, Emmy, say that again. Say what, Dad? Say like, now it's time for the sauce. Now it's time for the sauce. Like, she enjoys it. I'm not like Stage Dad where I'm like, say it again.
That's the part you don't see.
Yeah, that's the part. The outtakes.
Say it more like this. Now that's the sauce.
Jesus Christ, Emmy.
Oh, Jesus Christ, kid.
Put down the spatula. Oh, God damn it.
Can't you read? I got it right here on the cue cards.
Now, you brought up the little Hercules kid. If we're going to bring up kids from the past, I feel like I saw a follow-up story. Do you remember, like, the prettiest girl ever? It was like a teenager, but they're like, this is the prettiest person on, like, planet Earth. And it was a girl who you could tell when she's older was going to be beautiful, but she was like a young model, and they're like, she might have the prettiest face.
Oh,
Remember
is
this?
that the one from National Geographic?
I don't know, Spot. There was a girl that was like
girl on
pretty.
I know what Spot's thinking of. That
Yeah.
woman with the green eyes.
No,
Yeah.
I guess that girl was
She's
like,
old now.
No.
I know who Rich is talking
Yeah.
about. Rich is talking about this little girl with also, I think she has like light blue or green eyes. Very pretty. She's like a little model. She's like a little kid.
Yeah, this kid.
Yeah, I remember her. Yeah.
Thylane, ThyLane, Blondau.
Yeah, French model.
Yeah, but look at her in. I mean, this sounds odd to say because she's a kid, but you can say she's just a beautiful kid, and they're like, she might be the most beautiful person, and like modeling agencies were trying to like get the rights to her as she got older, and she's like a good-looking older woman. But would you want to be named like the most beautiful person on? Like, don't you remember that kid?
I mean, she grew up to be a very nice-looking woman.
Oh, of course, but the pressure when she was a little kid, they were like best-looking person on earth, and modeling agencies were trying to outbid each other for her. That's pressure. That's like the little Asian kid pressure.
Poor Calvin.
Poor Calvin.
Poor kid. Well, there you have it.
His name's Calvin.
I mean, he's never really going to grow up to be a pirate like he wants to, so that's kind of sad.
It's going to be a letdown.
Yeah.
No matter what.
All the other kids in his generation are like, yeah, we used to watch you be a pirate. You still want to be a pirate?
Can I?
But I don't want to be a pirate.
Can I give you a quick palate cleanse before we move on?
Yeah.
Spot, I sent you a video. I don't want Covino to know who the singer is. So is there, if you could just play the audio, even though
I'll write it down because I think I could read and feel Rich's mind.
So you sent me a video, you said?
On our
Writing it down.
On our CNR text message, I sent it this morning.
I have no idea where he's going.
I sent a YouTube video.
Here's my guess.
Now, the YouTube video I sent is someone singing Everlong by the Foo Fighters. And I'm curious if without knowing who it is, if I told you it's a random person, would you have said, yo, that's awesome, or it stinks? I want to see your guess. That?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No.
Dropped your pen, sorry.
Oh.
Now, there are times where this is not Lady Gaga or Paul McCartney or someone like legendary. It's not like Katy Perry or Bruno Mars. But if like out of place, like sometimes I'll see a video of a one-hit wonder from the 90s or 2000s and they're singing some shit on social media. And I'm like, if they didn't have that previous song, I would think they have an average voice at best.
Okay.
And I'm trying to decide if you think this is good or not. I know Everlong has the longest intro, so hit it, Spot.
Hello, I've waited here for you Everlong. Tonight, I throw myself into out of the head she sang.
I'm supposed to guess the voice?
No, you're supposed to tell me, is it, first of all, is it good? And can you guess the voice? But is it good?
Yeah.
Like, would you say, ooh, that's really good? Or, because I'm saying without knowing the name, if I told you this was like, oh, just some random dude on YouTube, you might be like, that's all right. I think sometimes what I'm saying is you give the credit more if I'm like, guess who that is? And I name like someone you know. Like if this was an Idol contestant or an X Factor contestant or something, would you say like, you're on to the next round?
And I wonder when I sing along with you, everything will ever feel this real forever.
You can stop this,
It's not that hard to do, though.
And I was gonna say it's not a challenging song vocally, and the guitar riffs are pretty good. I like that, but I feel like you could do that, right?
Do you want to see who it is?
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Rick Astley.
I've seen this.
And I'm not sure if I think it's good or not. I'm not sure if I'm glamored by Rick Astley, like, oh, cool, Rick Astley. Or if I heard it without knowing it's Rick Astley, I might be like, it's fine. Sorry.
Guitar-wise, it's really great. Like he's really, I mean, I don't know how hard it is to play that guitar.
He's ripping, but I don't know if his voice matches this song.
But
He's great.
Have you ever heard the acoustic version Dave Grohl does?
Yeah, it's famous from the Howard Stern show.
It's really, I mean, there's a recorded version of it though, but the recorded version.
Is Rick Astley like such a cool old guy now or what?
Definitely like reinvented himself. And I've seen this before, and I should have guessed.
Yeah, it threw
but I thought it was
me
a
off,
contestant.
Cole.
I was thinking contestant of a show.
No, it threw me off because my thought was, we all love Rick Astley because he's funny and he's a great throwback. But if you don't know it's Rick Astley, what do you think? You know?
Right,
and
yeah.
I think it was like good. But now that I saw it's Rick Astley, isn't there a part of you like, oh, cool?
Definitely.
I wanted
like
you to
it
hear
more.
it before you knew it was Rick Astley.
Definitely like it. I mean, I've heard that before, and I was still not registering that it was Rick Astley.
So
And
technically, you
liked
did
it
get
more.
Rickrolled a little bit. But
I got Rickrolled. Yeah, thank you. I wrote down Chad Smith's daughter because she's on American Idol this season. So I thought Rich was going to play something from Chad Smith's daughter, and would I be more critical because her dad's a rock star? That's where I thought Rich was going with it. And I believe she sang a Foo Fighters song on American Idol.
I have one question for you. It has to do with music and sports. Two of your favorite things on planet Earth. If I add butt cheeks, it might be the trifecta. Music, sports, and butt cheeks. These are a few of Steve's favorite things. Lionel Richie on Idol. I've not watched the full season. I know Spot has been watching more than I have. I've watched like 1 or 2 episodes. I think it's great this year. I really do. I think it's an entertaining, easy watch. The judges are lovable. The contestants have fun stories. the granddaughter of whose spot was it? Aretha Franklin's granddaughter auditions, and she's super talented and young. And Lionel Richie is the deciding vote, and he's like, goes up to her, come on, bring it in, give me a hug. I want you to look at me. I want you to look at me right now. I don't know if there's a clip spot. I don't want you to get flagged, but he does this whole thing where he's like, you don't need to.
Not ready.
You're not ready. And I think I'd be doing you a disservice by giving you your chance when you're not ready. So it's sort of like, do you think a quarterback thrown into the NFL before he's ready, a minor league baseball player thrown on the roster too soon, a fighter, like when Canelo took the Mayweather fight, taking the big fight a little too soon in your career? Do you think there is something to be said about, I believe you're a star, but not yet? Or is a star always a star?
No, I believe that sometimes you're just not ready. You have to develop your craft.
Like when you tell this 16-year-old kid or whatever, like,
you can't just get up at Carnegie Hall and start performing.
Yeah, no, I just feel like
just because you have talent.
Yeah, that's true. But it's weird because you're like, well, she's got the goods. She's got the goods. But Lionel Richie was like, yo, you got the skills, baby girl. But I'm telling you, if I put you through now, you're going to get your chance when you're not ready. And I know you got more developing to do. So I want you to get your chance and come back to see us. And it's like, well, come back for another season of Idol. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is she not good enough now? So, like, quarterbacks, baseball pitchers, singers, when I feel like there are times where, like, maybe you could get the call too soon.
Yeah, and that could ruin everything. Like, maybe Johnny Manziel would still be in the NFL.
If he had a little more maturity?
Wasn't rushed right into it. You know, if he played behind somebody and didn't have all this pressure to be the same guy he was in college in the NFL. So it could really fuck you up. So what Lionel Richie did was helpful.
But you don't want to hear that when
you don't want to hear that.
Like when you're like, you don't want to be told like, yeah, you're going to sit on the bench and learn as a backup quarterback. No, but I want to get in the game, coach.
You got to have that X factor, pun intended, right? You got to have that it factor. But talent is just, it goes back to the corny joke. How do you get to Carnegie Hall?
Practice.
Yeah, I mean, that hard work goes along with it.
And a great point.
That takes time.
A great point on our feedback. 412, the letter C in our show. Rashawn hit us up saying, same for relationships. You got to look at it from the perspective of you meet the right person, but what if you have no experience? Hey, Spot, you could argue that your relationship with Kristen, fantastic. But you're lucky that some of your inexperience didn't do damage. It could have. You went through a breakup and got back together. But that was probably, would you attribute that to?
No, I'd attribute that to love, Rich.
Learning? Like why you broke up, though.
Oh, why I broke up? No.
Inexperience?
No.
Making mistakes?
Anger? Frustration?
What does that mean?
Bad timing. Things happen.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you don't think that when you first met Kristen.
I'm a very emotional person.
You don't think when you first met Kristen, you didn't make some amateur mistakes that.
Of course I did.
Yeah, so that's my point. My point is relationships, like Rashawn said. Yeah. If you're not ready, if you didn't make the mistakes in relationships, it can burn you. So Aretha Franklin's granddaughter.
She ain't ready.
Sometimes you ain't ready.
It's a big criticism of Lionel Richie. Like I feel like that. You know how they don't chew people out anymore. Mm-hmm. They're not mean to them.
Yeah.
The criticism is you're not ready.
Yeah. Lionel Richie's big.
It's you see. It's a lot of young people. Like a lot of young people will come in and be like, "Yeah, you have the talent, but it's such a young voice. You're just you're not ready."
But you know what happens too? It takes a minute to develop your own style too. So just because you could sing, great. There's millions of people that could sing. There's millions of talented people. Have you made it your own? Have you figured it out? Do you have your own voice? I was listening to Chad Smith. Speaking of,
not even
of
that.
The Chili Peppers, he was talking about how John Bonham was the greatest drummer in his opinion because from day one, the dude had his own style. From track one of their very first album, Good Times, Bad Times, or whatever it was, Like he already had his own style about him, doing things that no other drummer was doing because he had that experience behind him, even at a young age, you know? And some people might take a little longer to develop. So it is different for everybody. Different for everybody, but sometimes you're just not ready. Rich and I thought we were ready for lots of stuff before we were ready for it.
I'll tell you what. In my 20s, I really thought I was ready to be like doing bigger things, and I probably wasn't. We were very ready for our ESPN gig. That's why it was such a bummer that we got like a shitty crew and COVID happened and everything. Like
the bummer was like they didn't know how ready we were. So instead of just letting us fly, they were like micromanaging stupid things that we didn't need to be micromanaged on. It's like, yeah, we're ready for this. We're like way more experienced than all of you, even though we're radio guys.
People are hitting us up saying legends have got booed off stage at the Apollo. Lauryn Hill. There are comedians that bombed. There are comedians that were doing jokes in front of 10 people. Now they're filling out stadiums. So, yeah, it's about being ready. And I disagree with Alex on our feedback who said, using experience in relationships as an excuse is hogwash. And I completely disagree. I think so many lessons you learn from your early relationships prepare you not to make those mistakes when you meet the right one. Jealousies, insecurities, but just reading, you know, the moods of someone you're with.
It helps.
When a woman says one thing but means another, like all the little things you learned in your 20s. Being too confident that like she'll never leave. How many times did you be like, yeah, she'll never leave. I'm Steve Covino.
Yeah, she will.
What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna live? You gonna leave me, Steve Covino? Hey.
Who's gonna love you now?
Yeah, you were like
somebody.
More like nobody. You were like Trip
Nobody.
McNeely.
No,
he's Mike Dexter.
Like Dexter.
Man, you're the worst. I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
Oh, shit.
But you mentioned, I think, one of the greatest examples. I brought up Johnny Manziel. Canelo Alvarez was not ready to take on Floyd Mayweather at that stage of his career.
At any other stage,
And
he would have
you see
whooped
that,
Floyd.
Yeah, you see that in boxing all the time. The reason, you know, Ryan Garcia is not thrown out there to fight these big veteran names is because people are like, yeah, you're great. You have all the potential in the world. We're not sure you're ready yet. You know, and you see these people protecting their fighters a lot because if they get beat, it ruins their reputation and their confidence sometimes. We see it in sports a lot. So the same applies when hitting the stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if Iron Tom was ready to open up for the Chili Peppers.
I mean, there are legends. Kobe.
Who is though?
Kobe shot air balls in his first game. People are also hitting us up saying, well, don't you need experience? Like, you know how a job will be like.
How do you get experience?
How do you get experience when a job says you need experience? But the whole point is that first job, you very rarely stay at that first job because you make mistakes, you get the experience, and you're never going to make it in that first job. Very, very rarely is someone today, as a grown-up, working at the same place they worked when they were 20-ish.
It's called being green.
Yeah.
Too green.
How many times did you hear that at auditions in your 20s? Yeah, we like Covino, but he's green.
I would sing that Kermit the Frog song.
Not easy.
Yeah, we're doing an MTV VH1 rock thing. Oh, we like Covino, but he's green.
But then that became a valued sort of commodity. Like, oh, he's raw. We're sick of this broadcasting type of professionalism. Like, we need someone who's more off the cuff and more edgy, more raw.
That's why when you look at an MMA or boxer's record, it's less about record and where they are now. It really is, right? I mean,
yeah, MMA especially, yeah.
Like there are guys that you look at their early fights. Like there was a point where Pacquiao, I'm not talking like recent Pacquiao that wins, loses, retired. There was a stretch of like a decade where Pacquiao was unbeatable. But he had losses on his record from early in his career. So he never had that same pizzazz as Mayweather, who had the O.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because he took fights early on.
I agree. Boxing's a great example of this, but it applies to all things in life. Just might not be ready for it.
Yeah. Well,
some people have the luxury of getting ready. Some people are just thrown right out there. Like, yeah, swim. Figure it out. Some people do, and then some people do, and some people don't. All right? Some people prosper and rise to that occasion. So, some deep conversations.
Thoughts. Some deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts with Dickie Davis.
Yeah.
Can I give some shout-outs?
Give some shout-outs. We got some news alerts. We got some smut on a Wednesday.
I'm waiting for the smut.
My mom left this morning. I was bummed to see her go. I thought she was going to stay another week or so. I was fine with her staying another week or so, but she's on her way to her next location, and then who knows where she's gonna. It's like it's a work in progress. It's weird. It's weird trying to help someone else guide their life.
She went to see her cousin, right?
Yeah, she went to go see her cousin, but then it's like, where's she going from there? She has a job interview and an appointment with an apartment complex, and it's just all these things. I'm like, I wanted her here so I could help her manage it all, because I feel like now she's gone. I'm like, oh, out of my hands now. Can't do it.
Shout out to your mom. It was nice to see your mom, Marianne. Again, a Behind the Velvet Rope Patreon with Rich's mom, a question answer. I wanted to do one last night and play some Everlong, play some Foo Fighters on my guitar and just hang, like a guitar hang. But honestly, man, I'm in so much pain that is concerning. And playing guitar would probably be a great distraction.
What are you in pain from?
My chest.
Like,
yeah, I told you. It's someone inside me going, ah, ee, boo. Dr. Tim says, no, it's Dr. Jeff that says pleurisy, maybe. I got to get it checked. Going Thursday. I think it's COVID related. I think I'm still having like aftermath. A little shady.
Damn.
So I have chest pain. I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to do anything. I went for a nice walk though yesterday. Maybe I'll do it behind the velvet rope today or tomorrow. Either way, we're going to be on Felipe Esparza's podcast. So
get your shoes yet? Your stepping shoes?
I haven't, but I did take a nice walk. Felipe Esparza tonight. Shout out to him, comedian Felipe. Jimmy Smith.
Someone asked the obvious, by the way. Did you like pull a muscle doing like chest or something at the gym or anything like that?
That would be great if I've done any exercise whatsoever in the past 2-3 months.
Because sometimes a little pulled muscle, people diagnose as something worse.
It feels like it could be a pulled muscle. I just can't imagine how. Like reaching for the snacks in the pantry. Ooh.
Oh.
Reaching for my cookies. Oh, Girl Scouts.
Tortillas. Oh.
Like how could I have done it? But you know what? I do feel that. So could very well be, but it wakes me up.
Sauce. Oh.
It wakes me up at night. So, by the way, you want to know my new steez? My new steez? I swear to God, this is like the greatest, most obvious observation of all time. Jordan said to me the other day, she goes, you want to try the carrot chips instead since you like to dip all the time? Like, get out of here. Give me my little mini carrots. I like baby carrots. Carrot chips. What's that?
Oh, carrot chips are great.
Yeah. Oh, the one that slice like almost wedge it. Like,
yeah. So then I looked
the ridges, like circle ridges.
I looked at them. I'm like, you know what?
Carrot chips are great.
I'll give them a try.
Dip them in some sauce.
Dude, I got the carrot chips.
Did you dip them in bitchin' sauce?
Oh, in the bitchin' sauce. If you're like a hummus type of guy, if you're a dipper, I always went baby carrots.
No.
I always went little baby.
I'm looking now.
I'm so wrong about it.
I wanted to make sure
where it's at.
I wanted to make sure that I knew what you were talking about. They look like Ruffles potato chips.
Yeah.
But they're carrots. Yeah, the wedges. Carrot wedges. Carrot chips.
Chips is how they're labeled where I get them. And the way they're cut is so much better for the dippity-doo than the actual baby carrots that I'm always, prone to get. Changed my whole life. Changed my option. Like, yeah, now I'm off baby carrots. Probably forever.
No.
Thank you.
You wouldn't.
No, I'm good. Only time I'll bring up a baby carrot is when I'm talking about Rich's penis.
Yeah, baby carrots. Or carrot chips.
Carrots. There it is.
If you find the ones that are longer, like oblong.
Oh, bro.
They're the best.
So maybe I pulled a muscle reaching for those bad boys. But I don't know. So I'll do a behind a velvet rope. Either, like I said, we have a podcast tonight, so maybe tomorrow. But a shout out to Jimmy Smith, Steven Texas, Brandon McKnight, Jared. Real yeah. What's up, Jared? Real yeah.
Yo.
Jared Real yeah. Zide Langen. There's a Zede. Zede Langen. Thank you very much. Van Harris. Ryan Muser. Moser? Ryan M., thank you.
Yo.
Appreciate you guys being here, hanging with us. Thank you for your subscription. And a shout out to Jacob Moultrie, who celebrated a birthday yesterday, listens to our show all the time. Jacob Moultrie, who hits me constantly about watching this Tom DeLonge documentary that he swears that I'll love, but I never have. He's been telling me for years. In fact, he's been listening since he was 15. Damn. And now he's 145. So happy birthday, Jacob Moultrie, and all the people I mentioned before. Your shout outs of the day. We appreciate your not just your subscription, your friendship.
Agreed.
Thank you.
And a shout out to the great Becker. Want to say hi to him.
Hi,
Said carrot chips are great for buffalo chicken dip, and that just makes a lot of sense.
It's a game changer. It really is. I mean, it's a game changer. I was so reluctant. It's a life lesson in a nutshell, really. That's why I shared the story. Because I was like, no, I like baby carrots. Jordan's like, I just thought they might be better since you're always.
You know who also?
But then I had to make the decision for myself.
You know who also celebrates a birthday today? Our buddy T. Samra, I believe.
What up, T?
T.
Samra.
And his son, who's going to be an MMA superstar one day.
What up?
Or a little boxer.
Well, don't rush him. Let him develop.
Yeah, too soon, young cat. Too soon. Now, let's get to some news alerts or whatever you want to get to. I do have smut on deck.
Well, speaking of young bucks, soon.
Are we doing news?
No, not yet.
All
well,
right.
this is kind of news, but I don't.
Smut.
We're getting to the smut.
Smut.
The news is we're one day away from baseball. I'm so excited about it. I got my T-Mobile Tuesday.
Sports.
Jeff Edstrom, thanks for the reminder.
Sports?
I got my MLB app ready to go. No, it's not sports.
Sure?
The coolest story I saw.
Is it in sports?
Just give me some news real quick. There's only one story.
Is it sports related?
Nope.
In any way?
No.
About an athlete?
Nope.
Doing something cool?
Nope.
About a coach? Something college football, basketball?
Yo.
Any sports adjacent at all?
No.
All right.
I just saw a cool story that'll answer your news.
Probably going to be sports.
It's not sports. It's radio related.
I have a story that has gone viral. As far as I know, it's a news story. It's a news story. And it involves a news organization in Minnesota. I believe it's in Minnesota. And they're just going through old archives, old footage. And this guy comes across this old footage of a little boy. And it's like hey, it's the zombie Jonathan. I like turtles. It's just a news person talking to a little boy.
Yo.
Apparently there's like a teacher strike in Minnesota. So they're talking to the students. Like, how do you feel about your teachers, kid, on the local news? And the guy who's going through the archives is like, wait a second.
This kid.
Who is that kid?
I recognize this kid.
I think I recognize that kid.
I've
And then he goes to the
seen
newsroom.
this
He goes to Jeff Daniels and everyone else, Olivia Munn and
Everyone in the newsroom.
He's like, everyone, newsroom, who do you think this kid is? And everyone in the newsroom is like, yeah, I think that's who we think it is. So it's kind of cool all these years later.
What year was the footage from?
Man, it has to be from like 1970.
1970.
About the 1970s teacher strike.
1970 teacher strike. They go to the kid for his opinion. And who is this kid? I thought it was kind of cool. It's gone viral. You probably have seen it already.
Who's this kid?
Who is that kid?
Rich, you know who the kid is?
I know who the kid is. I saw the clip. But I think I would have guessed it too.
Are most of the kids in favor of the picketing?
Yep.
How come?
I think they should get a better education too, and I think they should get some more money, cause they be working extra hours for us and all that.
Yeah.
Who is that kid? It goes on.
Kid?
He says something a little bold at the end, and then the guy was like, "Dang, let me research the footage some more. Do they give him a name? Do they assign the kid a name? Who is that kid?" But they do get the name of another kid in the video. Like, "Hey, man, I'm Randall Cunningham." Right?
Randall Cunningham was there? Randall Jackson.
Randall Birmingham. And you're Randall Birmingham. And I think they were able to backtrack, figure it out, and they realized it was Prince.
The little boy was the great Prince.
Kind of cool.
How wild is that, man?
Prince.
Oh yeah, and then they found the other guy.
Yeah, Randall Birmingham.
There was another kid who did address his name.
If that kid only knew then who he would grow up to be.
It's kind of cool to see Little Prince.
That is pretty wild, huh?
April of 1970.
We also compared it to a photo of Prince when he was believed to be in the 6th grade. Despite the evidence, we still needed someone who knew Prince as a kid to confirm.
We go back as far as kindergarten at John Hale Elementary in North Minneapolis.
That someone was Terrence Jackson, a childhood friend and neighbor who played in Prince's first band, Grand Central, when they were teenagers.
That is Prince. Standing right through the head-on, right?
Yeah, keep watching, keep watching.
That's Skipper! Oh my gosh! That's him. Wow, that was him.
What do you,
That's cool, right?
I'm like blown away and flabbergasted. I'm totally blown away.
Yo, that's cool as hell, huh?
I found a real gem.
For us.
It is cool. It's like just rummaging through footage and you see something cool like that. And we all have our own feelings of that too. Like when you see a picture of yourself that you've never seen before.
Like when I found the audio of the diaper dude the other day.
Yeah, or you just like,
no,
man.
But Covino makes a great point. If we just found this, how many other things are just there but unfound? I know that's deep.
No, it's true.
But at any given moment.
It's like my buddy who says he has that footage of me playing Little League. Yeah. Like, I mean, this is Prince. This is a much cooler story, I'm saying, but we can all relate. It's kind of cool. Little Prince.
At any given moment, I'm not even joking, someone could come forward. Remember how a month ago, someone's like, yo, here's my 9/11 footage I've never shared.
Right.
And it was crazy footage of the planes hitting the towers from a different angle. Awful, yet wild, amazing footage.
Wild stuff.
Someone could come forward tomorrow, for all you know, Covino.
The clip goes on, though, and he says something about, like, I hate school anyway. So on me, I'm just in a party like it's 1999.
And they're like, oh.
And they're like, wait a second.
That
kid looks like it's Prince.
Was that your joke?
I'm just enjoying my days off.
That was your controversial comment that he said?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I made it up on the fly.
Yeah, it was good. I like that.
That's why I just spent the last 5 minutes looking
No,
for
he
more of the
does say
clip.
something like boisterous. No, he just says something like, yo, what's up?
Yo, I'm just going to, whether they go to school or not, I'm just going to grab my raspberry beret and,
He's like, oh, wait, what? And you're like, I'm speaking to you, son. He's like, nah, it's a little red Corvette drove by. What's up?
That's what you had me looking for.
He does. The clip is longer. It's all good. I'm just making a joke. It has nothing to do with it.
All the clips I find are like
Why is he making it like, I just made a dumb joke? He does go on to say other stuff.
Well, there was footage where the reporter's like, well, what are you going to do? And if the teacher strike does happen, he's like, I don't know. Let's go crazy.
Let's get nuts.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. What's up? Prince.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Prince. We knew it was Prince.
I mean, I was really...
Dude, my joke has nothing to do with you finding more footage.
I was really looking for like...
What is he now following?
I don't know what he's following. I'm confused by spot.
The clip goes on.
I'm just saying every clip I see...
That it's just that?
Is like isolated the same what I showed you.
Oh, yeah, but it's fine. You don't need to play it. That's the story. That actually was on my list of things to talk about yesterday, but we were so action-packed.
In favor of the picketing?
Yep.
How come?
I think they should get a better education too, and I think they should get some more money, cause they be working extra hours for us and all that stuff.
And I'm gonna wear my purple coat in the rain. Wait, purple rain.
I love my teachers. In fact, I want to give them all a kiss. Ding 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 ding. No way!
Wow,
it's Little Prince.
Well, Little Prince. Who knew?
And then he licked the microphone. I thought that was weird.
When you see little kids like Prince,
that's it. Just walks away.
Do most of the kids, you think?
Cause they be working extra hours for us and all that stuff.
Let's go crazy.
I love that. It's a great clip. I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
Prince.
My teacher told me I would die for you. Well, yeah, it was great. Prince. But when you see Little Prince like that, know what I think? How
somebody should be giving these teachers some diamonds and pearls.
You're right. He walks away. You see he's wearing platform shoes.
There could be. This is where it's wild to me, right? Because we're at the age.
He just saw the most beautiful girl in the world, so he had to go chase after her.
It's a coming of age thing. Where when we were younger, our heroes, rock stars, celebrities, the Derek Jeters and Don Mattingly's and Dave Grohl's and all these people were older than you. Obama, Trump, Biden, Bush, all the presidents were older than you.
Bush.
We're going to get to an age where I look at my daughter and I'm like, there could be a kid in her school, like her little best friend. At one point, Britney Spears, Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish within the last 10 years was a little kid. You ever see that video of like Harry Styles? And it's funny because as we get older, videos on phones have been around longer. So you'll see some little video of some famous person. Like, here's Harry Styles when he was in like his talent show in 6th grade. There could be a kid that's best friends with Melody that could be like the J-Lo of the world in 25, 30 years. That's a weird thought because there's going to be a next person.
And that person's name right now is Juan. But he'll grow up to be J-Lo someday.
No, but isn't it? That is funny. It's not crazy when you think about how you could be watching your kid. You could be watching your kid play Pop Warner football or Little League baseball.
It looks so hard.
And there's some standout kid. You're like, oh, see that little kid? What's his name? Oh, that's Tyler. For all you know, Tyler could be the quarterback of the Broncos in 20 years.
Children are the future?
Teach them well and let them lead the way.
Are you saying
I think I am.
Show them all the beauty they possess inside?
It's an obvious thought. But when you're our age, it's a weird thought to think like someone in your daughter's grade. Melody's 12, Emmy's 4, Ben's 2. Kids their age one of them will be president. There's a little kid walking
even
around.
more different for them because
They don't know it.
No, I'm saying they know kids from all over the country that they're just seeing on YouTube and on social media, on TikTok. They could just think some random kid is cool from TikTok and become friends with them or follow that person. Little do they know that person might be the next big thing.
But I'm saying, little do you know that the cool little kid from your kid's class, like, oh yeah, little Franklin. Oh, he's funny and he's a really charismatic kid. That kid could be president one day because guess what? Someone will be president someday. Who's going to be the next? Oh, that kid's a really good athlete. Man, someone's going to be the next Yankee shortstop, bud.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know who it's going to be, which is a wild thought, right? Isn't it crazy? Who's going to be the next rock star or the next big rapper or who's the next LeBron James? Your kid could have game on the court and you're like, he's pretty good. For all you know, you could be sitting in luxury in 30 years because your kid bought you a mansion because he's making $70 million a year in the NBA in 10 years.
Well, this makes me think of something else then, too, because we saw a little kid from Toms River, New Jersey, at 11 years old, lead his team to the Little League World Series, made it to Yankee Stadium, stood next to Derek Jeter, and his whole dream and goal was to play in the big leagues, and he did, and he retired yesterday. His name was Todd Frazier. After 11 years. But just a cool story, like a local East Coast hero. It's not sports news. I'm just, kind of ties into what Rich was saying.
Yeah, it does.
He was just a kid on a Little League team. He ended up hitting important home runs in the playoffs for the Yankees and the Mets.
Todd's a really good player. Ended up playing for the Mets and the Yankees.
And was a big name for the Reds. Yeah. He won a home run derby. He had a lot of power for a scrawny dude. Todd Frazier retired yesterday. And then the other news story that stood out to me, again, I'm not buying into it, but I did love it.
What? Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker getting married in Vegas?
No, we talked about that yesterday.
About that yesterday. I looked up, there's a lot of celebrity couples that got married in Vegas and lasted. So it's not necessarily
Are you hoping they fail?
A death sentence to the marriage. No, but people joke and be like, oh, they got married in Vegas. Good luck. Kelly Ripa, Mark Consuelos, Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas, Bon Jovi and his wife. There's a whole list of celebrities that got married in Vegas and everyone's like, ha ha. And they're still together. So Vegas is not a death sentence to a marriage.
You know what is a death sentence? Those jungle gyms we used to climb on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Look at these things. Yeah, look at that.
Look at that thing.
Death sentence.
Death sentence.
Waiting to happen.
We're just waiting to happen.
Now,
look at that metal death trap.
What is that thing?
What is it?
I realize that
interconnected metal pieces.
Yeah.
Why is that safe?
All those kids are ready to
What is that held together by?
Yeah. Put those kids on a leash.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm like, no joke. Like, since the holidays and
you still can't get off the holiday weight.
COVID and all that. Yeah. I'm like 12 pounds overweight, for real.
That's okay.
But, whatever. I was underweight. Now I'm just like back to normal.
Same.
And I don't stress it because I know I could still lose it.
Yeah.
Because guess what? I've done nothing. So even if I do something, You know, like I'm gonna lose the weight. I've been doing my walks, but I'm doing like old lady walks.
I have a problem where I can't tell if I'm bulking or if I'm getting fat. Like I can't tell if I'm growing and like, you know, building or or just I'm getting fat.
Who
Because
knows?
The
Weight's different.
The scale's going up.
Right.
I feel a little bit thicker.
But I realize, Spot, it's
It
not
might be
even
muscle,
that.
Spot. Don't worry. It might be muscle. And you don't know.
But I go to the gym like almost every day.
No, I think I'm pregnant, guys. I do, especially after I read the story. He's going to be a soccer player.
Oh, you can finally use the new pregnant man emoji.
Yeah.
See?
Because according to Live Science and my bro Rogan, UFOs left radiation burns and unaccounted for pregnancies. Unaccounted for pregnancies.
I'm sorry.
New Pentagon report claims.
I'm sorry. What?
Apparently, 1,500 pages of UFO-related research was just declassified per request. And, you know, the Joe Rogans of the world and the Life Sciences of the world
There's Covino on the left.
are like really biting onto this. So maybe the aliens are coming and maybe they're impregnating us. I'm all for it. I have a question. I asked Jordan this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
She always asks me doozies based on this story from Live Science, which I don't even really understand. So they're saying like they're just impregnating people.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That explains the weight. There's so many different galaxies where there's potential life, right? We just haven't made communication yet. What if they made communication with us and this was a real story? So this is a hypothetical.
Yeah.
I posed this to Jordan last night. I said, quick question. What if I told you someone made contact with us and they want to come and meet? They just want to come and meet.
Like swingers?
No, like alien life.
Oh.
From different planet, different galaxy.
Well, he was talking to Jordan. I didn't know.
But, you know, you would assume that maybe, and we're only assuming that it's more advanced life form. And
What if it was a dumber life form? Like, hey, what's up?
I'm assuming it's you know,
Steve. Hey, Steve. I'm from outer space.
God came here on a ship.
but
How we doing, Steve?
that wouldn't add up, right? Because they reached out to us because they're more advanced.
Hey, Steve. What's that?
I
wouldn't-
accidentally stole this ship and I landed up
We
here.
might find that.
You look smart.
I'm saying who's going to find
Let's
us?
hang out.
What's this sharp thing? Oh, that hurts.
So they all talk
I'm
like,
gonna put my thing in your butt.
it's not going to be that
I
way
hear that's what aliens do.
if they've reached out to us.
What if they were dumber life forms?
Earthlings. Earthlings, we are foreign, you know, beings from another land.
From another planet.
What if they're really dumb and you get outsmart? I'm like, look over there.
Impossible. Impossible.
They're all smarter. I know.
'Cause
We're
in
the
my,
dumbest.
In my hypothetical,
We're the
they
dumbest.
It takes
contacted us
It
somehow.
takes intelligence,
Right.
to reach here.
Of course. Yeah, yeah.
Like our reach. If you think about it, our reach is only the tiniest bit of just our solar system. So if people are coming from far away stars, which are light years away,
they're
the
brilliant.
technology to get here is far and away advanced.
Hey, Steve.
Unless they wandered onto the ship. I don't know how I got here.
So anyway, they hovered down.
Yeah.
I just floated through space
It's
and
a big like,
So you,
it's fucking crazy. But they're peaceful fucking aliens. They're just here to be like, we found other life. Cool. What's up? They want to shake the hands of our leaders, and all the leaders are there. It wouldn't be just ethnocentric fucking American. You know, they're not there with Joe Biden.
All right, so take a time out.
Right.
Let me follow you because I want to make sure I'm following you. Aliens?
Contact us.
Contact. Hey, we want to meet peacefully. And all of a sudden, from the skies comes down, woo.
Mm-hmm.
And they come out and they're wearing like silver suits and they got big gray heads and they're like, we're here. Aliens are real. We are them. Hello.
We're gender neutral.
Right.
So
how do they speak English?
Where do we go from there is what you're probably...
My question to Jordan was, and again, it was all spurred based on this story from Live Science. If you want to pull it up, Spot, be my guest. Joe Rogan was all about it. What do you think their first criticism would be of how we live our lives?
Like, very interesting transportation systems you guys have.
They'd probably say, why do you fight amongst each other? Probably like, why...
War.
Like, what? Like, why are you destroying each other and your planet? Like,
why is Disney subjecting children to this?
No, what do you
honestly,
think?
really, it would probably.
I thought like transportation, like
no, and this is
because I would imagine their transportation is way more advanced than ours. So it'd either be communication or transportation.
No, I think it would be like, and this isn't like some like
you think it's violence.
No, I don't think it's like an eco-friendly. This is not like a. It's not like, hey, we're destroying our planet.
But like, would it be like agriculture?
No, like, why are you killing animals?
Like, what?
No, I think,
and they teach us like a new way to do agriculture.
I'm answering your question. I think they'd be probably amazed by how we harm each other, and they'd probably say we're harming our planet, like cutting down trees and doing this. And
so in other words, the follow-up question would be, what would be the first thing that advanced life teaches us that we accept, and we're like, yeah, fuck, okay, we'll do this? What do you think it would be?
Desalinization. They're like,
you have so much water, but there's so many thirsty people.
It's a good question. I think, you know what I thought you were going to ask me?
I thought you were going to ask travel. I think travel would be like they would teach us how to reach.
Sorry, I thought it would be transportation. That's what I thought too.
I don't mean like on the planet. I mean like
Spot saying it would be like, here's the technology to like go light speeds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I had to go through black holes and wormholes.
Yeah, but we'd have our human body would be able to have to. They'd have to figure a way for the human body to sustain that speed, right?
Travel.
So look, when you're high, when you're on your edibles, like Rich, who, by the way, you haven't talked about that in a minute.
No.
My question was: advanced life form comes to Earth peacefully. What's their first? What's their first criticism?
I got it.
And what is the first thing that we adapt based on that?
They would probably say, why is guac $2 extra? Probably, I would say
I don't understand Chipotle's prices.
I don't get it. That's probably it, number one.
Do they have male and female genitals? That's what I want to know. I don't know.
I bet you.
No. I feel like we assume that like they look like us, that they have like two eyes and a nose and a mouth. It's like,
I wonder. You know what I saw a lot of, and you could go down a butthole or a wormhole with this. You ever see people that think we're living like a simulation?
Yes, I feel that way sometimes.
It's not like by like one person. Like they're saying like this is being, the galaxy's so big that what we're doing here on planet Earth with the exact combination of elements and life and everything is taking place other places too, and maybe there's some higher power, and we're just like simulation 9072 or something, and there's a million of other simulations of what we're doing.
I mean,
how wild would that be?
Of all the same people?
The better question is, what do you want to happen when you die?
I want everyone to miss me.
Oh.
Do you think
Keanu, right?
What if you went to like another? What if you learned all of life? What if your conscious, your soul learned all of like life secrets, and like you just went on like an intergalactic journey when you died? Like, whoa, you're like floating through.
You're given the egg theory. I saw that on TikTok.
Oh, I don't know this. No,
intergalactic.
You'd have to look it up. It's like the egg theory.
Planetary intergalactic.
It's like it's just trial and error until you become like a god, until you become divine. Well, it's trial and error until you just get it right.
Yeah, that's like the thoughts of certain cultures believe that's what reincarnation is. Mm-hmm. You're just coming back to get it right. That's the movie Defending Your Life's about. You're just coming back until you get it right.
So anyway,
what if you did? What if you were
did you
born
even
again?
pay attention to the real story though that spurred this thought?
Well, actually, no, because you got me thinking so many things since. What if when you die? What if the old like
read it from Live Science? Joe Rogan's all
left
about
radiation burns and
unaccounted for pregnancies.
So wait, are we alien babies? Do we have alien babies here?
Again, this is classified information, apparently.
Are we saying Jesus was an alien baby?
I mean, it would explain a lot of the similarities in different cultures on opposite sides of the world that developed in the same sort of way. And, who knows?
I thought about this because you see these videos. I saw a video. It could be wrong. But
Visibility cloaks.
Much like everything you see.
Shut up.
Much like everything you see on social media or the internet in general, you have to read with a grain of salt and assume it could be just bullshit, right? But I saw something where the way some tombs in pyramids are located, like there's no human way that they could have carried up these stones. And like the pyramids themselves are just so from a construction standpoint and from a human limitations, like they're like, it would take thousands of years to pull this rock.
Dude, it's as
like
simple
things
as
that
even
don't make
the
sense.
art. There's art of, and there's people in the art holding specific things and that they're holding in the same exact way in completely different cultures, millions of miles away. How is that possible if other life form didn't come here and teach things and at one point, right?
Like, what if Elon Musk is an alien baby? Like, what if people with like mega intelligence are part alien?
Must invest in Twitter.
So they function on a different level because they have alien knowledge.
It's who knows? Maybe he's an alien baby. So there's a story of aliens in the news and classified files. And then it just dawned on me, well, what would be our new development based on this visit from these aliens? The way I agree with Spot,
let's be honest.
The way we transport.
Let's be honest.
Not going to happen.
If aliens come to this world, we're going to destroy them. And any sort of knowledge they had to. There's a great.
If you think
Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
Rod Serling, the genius, where it was this alien comes to Earth. There's a ship, a little Mexican boy that looks like you. Remember, I sent you a photo of a little Mexican boy from the Twilight Zone that I thought looked like you as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
This little Mexican boy befriends the alien because he's injured because he was shot by a cop who didn't understand him, and this alien has like the mysteries of the universe about how to solve the issues and all this stuff, and all the people, because they don't understand, end up killing the alien man. And the alien boy tries to save him, but he gives the alien boy the secrets. But they try and save him. No one wants to listen. Boom, 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 boom. So that's what would happen if aliens came to be good and give us stuff. We would shoot them out of the sky and destroy them.
No, I'm 100% believe that if aliens came here, who would, like, if you ask me, who would fire first and do the wrong thing? Us. We would do something like they would be like, we're here in peace. And some idiot would be like, oh, shoot one. And they'd be like, now it's intergalactic war. Ah! Like, and they would kill us because we did something dumb first.
Is that, how do you say that name? Ty? Is that Ty?
Foster.
Jesus
was the first alien baby. And look what they did to him. They killed him because he could do alien things.
Could be.
So that's the story. That's the random news. I'm sticking to it. Like a bat wing.
I'm not checked out at all. I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued by this. I was trying to find the video where they show this like simulation, like it would take thousands of men, like pulling a stone up
we've all seen.
No, but
videos,
like up an angle, and then it's like once they got it up there, like how did they like all these impossibilities? And it's like, well,
you always have to be. I don't know. I feel like if aliens came and gave us like all this great knowledge and technology, that's a form of control. Because it's like you're like, oh, you're reveling in all this greatness, and then all of a sudden they turn around and like probe your butt and put you on a wall.
Speaking of aliens, remember that show we liked, Spot? District 81 or whatever the fuck it was called. What was it called?
District 9.
District 9.
That was a movie.
That was a movie.
No, it was called.
A TV
What's
show?
it called? This TV show, the aliens in the TV screen. He's like,
oh, something 81, like a
81,
videotape.
yeah.
I never finished that.
Project
81.
I never saw that.
I liked it a lot. That shit was not renewed. All the garbage that gets picked up for another season, that wasn't picked up. I'm so mad about that.
Archive 81.
There it is.
Aliens 81.
Archive 81 was pretty good. I didn't like it at first, but then I really got into it. I was like, this is good. I like it. And the ending gave me chills. I was like, oh, snap. The ending, bro, is really good. They didn't pick that up for a second season. I hope somebody else does. I hope it gets second life somewhere else, speaking of aliens. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk smut.
Can we tie it together? If aliens did come here, would you watch the subset of porn that involved aliens? Because I'm sure there would be some.
Oh yeah. Why does everyone always go to the dumb, low hanging, like probe your butt joke? You already did one. I'm not blaming you. I'm saying, why is that? Do we assume they'll go after our butts?
No, because every encounter
story,
everyone
is I got
not
pulled
everyone,
on.
but it's a common theme.
I think like one guy was probably like, and they touch my butt. So now the whole thing is like, aliens touch your butt.
I got pulled onto
like one
a
time
ship.
it probably happened.
I got pulled onto a ship, and I got poked and prodded and probed left and right.
And then someone was probably like, and your butt? Like, yeah, my butt.
Yeah, it became a common.
So
thing.
I think, I don't know.
Did you ever see Fire in the Sky? You know what always drove me? Like
Rich avoids all of these things. That's why he's amazed by like the pyramid stuff. Like that's stuff they talk about all the time on these shows.
Fire in the Sky. They like drilled a hole in like the guy's eyeball. It was.
You gotta watch some Ancient Aliens, bro.
What was I gonna say? Aliens probing butts.
If aliens.
There was a funny SNL clip, and it's great because Kate McKinnon's in it. It's a handsome dude, one of the other chicks, and Kate McKinnon, and like the other two had these like glorious like glowing experiences where they're great, and Kate McKinnon's just sitting there smoking a cigarette, like talking about how like they all stood around and probed her. It's very funny. Can't show it.
Kate McKinnon, pretty hilarious, so I'm sure it was good.
Ryan Gosling is in it. Sorry, handsome dude.
All right, so time for a little smut, a little friend in need.
Wait, the one thing I didn't know about the alien story though, is so 9 months from now we can have little alien babies, or are there alien babies out here?
I assume this is a study release, so there are alien babies in
so
existence.
Elon Musk is an alien baby.
I told you.
That would make sense. Okay, cool.
When was he born? How old is? What year was he born?
Elon Musk, probably 50-ish or so. In our lifetime, if you live a nice...
He was born in 1971. I'm sure if you look, you can correlate an alien landing to the 70s, early 1970s.
If you live a nice long life,
find that Elon Musk was an alien baby.
Do you think there'll be more than speculation? Do you think there'll ever be like proof, evidence, fact, aliens? Or do you think in our lifetime now?
Yeah, I think so.
If you live another 50 years, you think eventually it'll be like, hey, listen, I know now they release documents and people speculate, and it's like, no, it's in the documents. I'm talking, will the president, whoever it is, in 25 years from now be like, American people, it's true.
I'm just looking forward.
We have talked to aliens.
To find out who killed JFK.
Well, Spot, to go back to the Prince footage.
I wonder if the guys that are paying child support thinking it's their baby when it's really an alien's.
That would be really...
I wonder if they get reasbursed.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
And on his 18th birthday, found out it wasn't his.
Yeah.
And on his 18th birthday, found out it was an alien. Based on your Prince clip that you pulled.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that story.
Spot it any day. Someone could be like, I have this old footage from, I was in Dallas, I believe. And they could have an angle of the Kennedy assassination, and it could clear everything up. Imagine if, like, tomorrow, out of all days, it's like headline news, and someone was taping the whole thing from another angle, and they pan up, and it's like a shooter in a window. Imagine if, like, the mysteries of the world could be solved, but instead we found Prince as a 7-year-old.
But that gives you hope.
I know. Gives you hope. All right.
Aliens could be racist? Jose says aliens could be racist. Yeah, imagine they come here and they're like,
we only like Filipinos.
They kill everybody else.
I just assumed.
That's when I'm Filipino Covino. I'm like, what's up?
I just assumed they meant like the human race.
No, racists. Like, but what if they're like,
Irish people must die first?
Who knows?
And every woke person that opposes them, they just immediately kill.
Who knows?
Could be,
Who knows?
Could be.
But
know.
That story got my mind thinking of the encounter.
I still picture them being dumb aliens coming down.
That's if we find them. If we find them, yeah.
You look pretty smart. Will you be our leader?
Let's see how you guys do with guessing some birthday ages today.
Okay. And then smut.
Yeah, I mean, I keep trying to get to it, and you're like, one more thing about the aliens.
You're talking about birthdays.
All right, well, I figured I'd
Can't blame it on me.
Billy D. Williams.
Oh, he's old as fuck.
I mean, we had him on our show, and he was old as hell, and that was like 20 years ago.
82 years old.
84.
85.
Dang.
The sexiest man on planet Earth.
Ryan.
Paul Rudd.
Oh.
He's 50.
Oh, yeah, 54.
53.
Oh,
okay. Dang.
From Scrubs. Very funny guy. He's been on our show. Zach Braff. Very nice guy.
Is it Zach Braff or Dax Shepard? I can't tell.
46.
He's
like 48.
47.
There you go.
So close.
You guys split the difference. Very, very sweet on our show as well. From Full and Fuller House, Candace Cameron Bure.
She's like my age.
45.
46.
Wow.
I don't know if you know who she is. You know her by face, but I don't know if you'll know the name. Eliza Coop. Very funny from Scrubs and Happy Endings and a lot of like funny comedy. Spot. If you look up Eliza Coupe,
I know Eliza Dushku.
You'll be like, Eliza Coupe, she's hilarious. I think she's underrated. Eliza Coupe.
Oh, I know her face.
She's 41 today. You know this. Look at Eliza Coupe.
I know this.
You'll be like, oh, I know her.
I know this face. Let me find a good photo of her.
You'll say, oh, yeah, I know her.
Eliza Coupe.
Definitely funny.
I know this face.
She's in a ton of things. She's very funny. So Eliza Coupe,
happy birthday
to all of them and you.
Eliza Dushku.
Now, I told you I was at the dentist the other day. I had an appointment at 2:30.
Dickie at the dentist. Did they probe you?
Yeah, they. I woke
They're
up.
aliens.
I woke up and my pants were around my ankles. I'm like, I came here to get a filling. I know.
You know that happened to Rose, right? The doctor put her on laughing gas and started to like stare at her boobs. He was like, wow, wow, wow. And then she like stormed out.
Oh, was that like a very special Golden Girls?
Might have been.
Or a weird dream you had.
Wait a second.
Wait, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen. That was in my brain.
So the first one's less about smut, more about relationships and just connecting. My dentist, not my dentist, my dental hygienist. We'll call her Jessica. Jessica was like, you seem like a guy I could talk to. I'm like, yeah, have at it. Let's hear it. She's like, let me ask you. Have you ever been in a relationship where you guys both agree this should probably end, but you have a big trip planned together? Do you go on the trip? Do you sit it out? Do you make the best of it? What do you do? And that was her question to me. And I had thoughts. And then after I told her my thoughts, she said, believe it or not, she was with a dude. And they both agreed that this relationship has run its course. It's done. I'm not feeling you. You're not feeling maybe the same way. Our schedules stink. Like, we're not connecting. They went on the vacation anyway. And apparently she's like, it gave us new life. And that was 4 years ago. But at first we were like, maybe we shouldn't go on this trip and just break up. They went on the trip. It was like a 2-week international trip. They got out of their own zone here in California, bonded on a whole new level, and they came back and they've been good since for years. They were in Israel.
Wow.
So,
by the way, a very special guest.
Oh.
Ben just
I thought Sarah opened the door slowly. It was Ben. And he looked in and then he just like, hey.
Does this kid own a pair of pants? I'm just wondering.
I don't think so.
A little offended.
Why? Because he's got a huge dong.
He's got a bulge, this kid.
Diapers. That's it. So, your thoughts on that, and then I'll get to the smut story of the day.
I think that story proves the theory and answers the question.
But I've been on a vacation with an ex where...
Yeah, but it could go both. It could go either way, right?
I went with my ex from college to Jamaica, not Queens.
Yeah, man.
Jet ski, parasail, banana board.
Beer can.
And we went on vacation because we had bought the tickets, booked the resort, but it was almost like I don't like you anymore. I don't like you anymore. Yeah, I mean, do you want to go? Well, I mean, I don't hate you. This is just not working anymore. We went on that vacation. And the whole time, all I could think was, look at all these people who love each other. I don't love you. And while I did get to lay in the sun, got to go snorkeling, got to,
You didn't do any butt snorkeling, huh?
Yeah, went to the swim up bar, did all the usual shit. Probably even hooked up a little bit because you were on vacation, just for the hell of it, because you're in that mode. But
Steel drums playing. Everyone's smiling except for you.
I just remember thinking, I'm the least happy person in this magical moment.
Even the steel drum didn't make you happy? Steel drum makes everybody
You're
happy.
on a daytime excursion, like, hey, it's the Booze Cruise snorkeling adventure, $80 a person. You go on it, and I remember looking around, like couples are like canoodling and kissing and being like, oh, what are we doing tonight? All being all cute and romantic. And I remember being like, going snorkeling or what? I don't know. I
Could
don't
go
know
either
why.
way.
I don't know
But
why.
Based on your hygienist story, you take that chance. You've invested all this time anyway.
This is the feedback I was.
It could be a great experience.
This is the feedback I was waiting for.
Yeah, but the moral of her story was they took the chance.
Oh, yeah.
And they took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Oh, and I think that's beautiful because I was thinking more along the lines of Rachel, who hit us up saying, I went on a trip when a relationship was over. I ended up leaving halfway through and flew home alone. I just think there's a risk there. Becker said, I canceled the trip when my relationship was on the rocks. Cost me $700 in change fees.
Isn't that how the song goes? Love on the rocks.
Ain't no
Canceled,
surprise.
no, it's canceled my trip.
She is a pain in my balls and dick. Becker said he did this at best decision he made. I don't know.
He doesn't know that though. He knows how life played out.
Yeah.
Right? But he doesn't know what could have been. We never do. We just accept our reality and say, yeah, that's cool.
You know, sometimes you break up and you know it's not going like I cannot be the only person that this has happened to. A lot of times people do like, hey, you know what? This ain't working. Maybe we need a getaway. And by the time the getaway rolls around, you've already got worse where it's like, are we still going on this trip? I mean, I guess so. I mean, we have a week in Mexico. We going or what? I mean, yeah, let's make the best of it. I mean, and then when you get away with the one you love and things are good, think of the anticipation of that trip. The trip is like a break from the stress. Imagine the trip being oh no, now I'm stressed.
Andrew Sims says, I think her story is the exception.
I agree. That's why I was like, really? Because I thought she was going to say the opposite.
It's going to give you clarity either way. It's like these magical dates on these dating shows. If you can't find love, I found love in a what spot?
Hopeless place.
You can either find love in a hopeless place or like an amazing sunset in Cabo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you can't find a commonality and a great moment in paradise, it's like if you can't have fun at Disneyland, then like maybe you just aren't good together.
You know that led to one of my breakups with an ex? We were in Disney.
I
mean, I told the story before.
But that's my point. So it's going to tell you the truth. It's like truth serum either way. It's like, all right, here we are. We left our worries behind. We're in paradise, and you're bothering me about this?
I remember
those are big time reality checks. Or vice versa. Like, you know what? This is great. You're great. Sorry we've been fighting. You know, life is stressful, but let's enjoy this. Which is the case with your hygienist. It could go both ways.
I remember being in Disney with my ex, Kristen.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the most magical place on earth.
Trying to have a magical day.
I had the hookup too. I remember we stayed at like a beautiful Disney property. We got
Goofy's house?
What?
Goofy's house?
Yeah, no, I was at Goofy's house. Oh, hey, here's the breakfast.
Gosh. He's more goofy than me.
Would you want a coffee and waffles? Gee, golly.
If I'm goofy, who are you?
And I remember thinking, looking around, families, couples, everyone smiles ear to ear. And I'm looking at my ex, Kristen, being like, you are a pain in my ass. You know right now. And I just remember thinking, like, if you are annoying me at the Magic Kingdom,
pain in my ass. You went on Mel Gibson.
If
you're not laughing on the teacups, when all the world is spinning around you, you're like,
I remember her busting my balls.
Yeah, so you know,
at the Magic Kingdom, and I remember thinking,
that's why you go on that trip, because you get your answer.
Ooh, but you know what I'm saying? Someone could argue this.
You get your clarity.
Cove. Someone could argue the opposite and say, what happens is the relationship's no bueno. You go on a trip, and all it does is confuse you, because what happens is you could be like, you know, Stephanie's not the right girl for me. Guess what? You go to Aruba for a week, Stephanie could feel like she's the right girl again, but then you go back to reality and you're like, oh, the vacation tricked me. That's also a risk you're throwing out there. The risk of, is this vacation going to trick
Yeah, but it's not
our
tricking
feelings.
you. It's teaching you a lesson that you're letting life's problems get in the way of your relationship.
No joke. I'm reading the feedback. If you're pissing me off while we're on the Dumbo ride, like, there should be no one. You know who the only people that should be aggravated at Disney? People with little kids that are waiting in long lines.
Did you ever notice the little mouth that's on the top? The little mouth.
You're so. I hate you.
Worst. Everybody knows the mouse there. You're just stupid. Mouse. We're here on Dumbo Ride. Talking about stupid mouse.
You want a churro? Ugh, I told you I don't like churros, moron. If you listen to me.
See, but you get your clarity.
Yeah.
Get your clarity.
Well.
So that was all the hygienist had to say? Where's the smut?
No, that I said I had relationship stuff and smut.
I think you take that trip. Smut. Get your answers.
Now, Spot, I sent you this yesterday on the CNR chat. It was
smut.
No, it was a show that is getting some backlash. Did you see this? It's a show about it's a show about nothing and everything. It's a show about swingers. Did you see this? No?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I know I'm not watching it.
No.
Let me find which article it is. There it is, Spot. It's a Google. It's I sent it to you yesterday, right at the beginning of showtime. Right above an Instagram post. It's a little Google link.
Got it.
And apparently there are all types of dating shows. We know this, right? Bachelor, 90 Day Fiance, Joe Millionaire. They're fun. They're like lowbrow watching, but it's like it's entertaining. It's the dumbest form of entertainment. But they're trying to push the envelope, right? Temptation Island. Love is Blind. There's a new one that Nick Lachey's hosting that's coming out soon, right? Where it's couples are tested on vacation. Like they go on vacation. It's like, are they going to come back a couple or are they going to...
I thought that was F-Boy Island.
That's sort of like F-Boy Island, Spot, but there's another one with Nick Lachey and Jessica and Vanessa Manillo. Watch the trailer for this show. It's called Open House, The Great Sex Experiment. And it's couples that go to this trip and they're apparently open to the idea of swinging and swapping and stuff. Apparently it's a disaster. Spot. Hit it.
Which is new favorite show?
I've never watched it. I wouldn't even know where to watch it. I think it's
about
on
to be your new favorite
Channel
show.
4. I think it's like a foreign show that it's Open House, The Great Sex Experiment.
So it must be a Channel 4. Is that the UK?
Perhaps.
Deep in the English countryside is a unique retreat where committed couples can open up their relationships.
It is our first time doing anything like this.
With the help of the retreat's liberated residents,
It's just natural to have sex with multiple people.
will they make fantasy a reality
You might be a tired guy after tonight.
or realize it's harder than expected
It's not a porno, it is real life.
to be in love and have sex with other people?
This is the most out of my comfort zone I've ever been.
I had so many thoughts. Obviously, this is not my lifestyle. I'm not judging anyone's
Open house,
lifestyle.
the great
But when you
sex
think
experiment.
about it, what I've learned, especially going through my relationship trials and tribulations, is family unit is important because like blended families and segmented families and all co-parenting, that's for the birds. I'm not saying blended families are bad. I'm saying the scenario I'm in is not fun.
Every time you say blended family, I picture Terry Crews singing in the movie Blended.
Yeah, and with the Sandman.
Yeah, the Sandman is in that with who's
yeah.
that? Who's in that with the Sandman?
Oh, yeah, man. The redheaded girl, yeah.
Oh, is that Jennifer Aniston in that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Terry Crews would pop out of nowhere and always be like, blended.
So I think in the future, aliens, when they come here, they're going to say,
Why do you commit to one person?
Monogamy is man-made.
When it comes to having sex.
but I think they would say,
You here's how it's done, Earthlings. Keep your family unit together. Abide by a trust in this family, but have sex freely.
I could see in the future, just based on aliens.
Based on
seriously.
aliens,
No,
did you say?
That's my joke.
Oh, based on
on
aliens.
what they teach us.
Oh, yeah.
But based on what the future sees in other marriages not working, it doesn't all add up. So there's got to be a compromise of, look, family's important, so we keep the unit together. Kind of how Will and Jada were trying to do it. Just gets sticky and ugly because we're not used to it and people don't know how to navigate it. But once it becomes like an accepted sort of normal thing, I do see that being the way in the future because you got to keep a family unit.
No.
It's important.
You know, there's
but,
it
but
doesn't
how do you
work.
expect people to stay monogamous when it doesn't seem to work?
It can't
The
work.
proof is in the pudding.
You know what? I think it can't work. That's again, I can't say that.
I'm saying as relationships evolve, look, we talked about how kids don't even put value on their own lives. Kids do not value relationships the same way. But a family unit is important.
Unit.
You know,
I feel like Spot has an opinion here.
I can't.
So I think that the family dynamic is going to be an accepted normal.
I think.
Sort of thing in the future.
What are we talking about here?
Let me pose the question for you.
What are we
because
talking about? Because I'm very confused.
Spot, I want
Well,
your
I
thoughts.
said I
but
had a lot of thoughts when I saw that.
Because we were watching a video about swingers, now all of a sudden you're talking about a family unit.
No, because I have a thought. With let me follow that up and then give me your thoughts. I think that it's impossible for this to work out for 90% of people because there's always a few things that'll happen, right? Number one, you start taking your eye off the family unit, and the family unit is what's going to make your kids, succeed, and your kids, grow the right way, right? There's no one that ever, no man or woman, you could say, I could handle it, right? People love to say this all the time. How many times have you been with someone where they're like, yeah, we could be like friends with benefits? How do friends with benefits end?
I didn't see that movie.
Someone always catches feelings, and then it ends poorly.
See this guy right here? Right here?
Oh, this guy? Hello?
No, me.
Oh, you?
Me.
Spot nailed it.
Catching feelings.
Two people could say,
Catch feels.
yo, you want to be in an open relationship? Yeah, I can handle it.
Yeah, but younger people, especially today, Rich, know that there's so many options. There's options, waiting around the bend. There's
agreed.
options as soon as they open their phone.
All right, so I agree with you, but you know what the thing is?
There's no value on like, our love and you. There's no value on you because there's like 8 million yous.
You make a point.
In this person's DMs
You're
right
backing
now.
up sort of my narrative here, which is
There's options and a brand new life around the bend.
Yeah. There is a major emphasis on people probably being more open to this idea than ever before. Agreed with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that doesn't change. You know, there's things that are consistent through generations, no matter how much you try to change it. People are never going to be okay being second best. And every relationship that's like some type of casual thing. All right, a husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend.
You say that, but we're conditioned and programmed to feel that way.
No, we're not. It's
You don't know.
instinctual. All right, man and woman.
People like in the future might be like, yeah, whatever. I got options too.
What's going to happen? Man and woman. I want to bang other people.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Now, at first, he sleeps with.
See, but I gotta stop you because you're coming from today's perspective of you're placing value on Sarah, right? Someone in the future places so much. You see the narcissism running rampant. All people care about is themselves and them and their life revolving around them. What makes you think that people are going to care about other people so much that they have to have that person in the future? We don't know that.
No,
we don't know that. Because we value people and we put value on relationships. Kids, if it keeps going this way, they might not at all.
Monogamy is a man-made concept.
So therefore, if that's a man-made concept, what Rich is describing here, this jealousy shit, might also be something that's non-existent in the future when people are so self-centered that I can't even fucking believe it.
Maybe that's a factor, but my thought is people in our kids' generation, people that are like 20-something and younger, are going to be way more open to the like, yeah, like we have a fluid relationship. We do whatever. I'm just saying that at the beginning, middle, and end of the day, man and woman, or man and man, or woman and woman, whatever it is, I'm going to go bang other people. I think I could deal with that. That's cool. Me too. At first. the guy could sleep around. It's just sex. It's cool with me. And then he could be like, yeah, I guess it's like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I don't love it, but hey, if she's going to get her rocks off and it's cool. Here's what's going to happen.
You're going to slap Chris Rock on stage?
Eventually, you're going to lose your shit and slap a comedian at an award show. No, eventually, one of you will start to feel more for someone else other than your partner. It's inevitable because new will always seem more appealing than old, right? It's a fact. You've been with the same person 10 years. Some new person becomes your new hookup. You're going to want to end up spending more time with the new hookup, which will then ruin your relationship. It is so tricky. So tricky. I really do think.
That's why, like I said, commitment will be different. It'll be committed to the family, not committed to you.
Now, kids in this make it very tricky. I think a couple without kids could pull this off if and only if. This is a very important point, so pay attention. Swinging and stuff could work out if you don't break the rules.
I've said this recently.
You know what the rules are?
It's all about...
The rules are this.
The rules is... the number one rule is...
duck?
Communication. I didn't say the first rule in a crisis situation, not only, but also that's rule 3. Yeah. But no, the first rule in a crisis situation is you move too soon.
No, we only know the third rule.
Anyway, it's communication. So you have to be completely open and honest and communicate. So everything needs to be discussed beforehand. You can't just go off and do things on your own and come home and be like, oh yeah, by the way, I banged the hot waitress at the local peasant last night.
Dude,
we're not penguins though.
When you talk about
penguins, pick a mate for life. And I think they stay a family forever. And if one of the mates die, they don't move on. We're humans and we have options and we don't value the things that we used to value. Now, you got to keep that in mind.
Now, Bree says, let's be 100% here. Let's be 100. At the end of the day, both or one of the people will be jealous. It'll never work. Point blank period. Feelings get involved and shit gets weird. Now, I think it could work.
Let's be honest. We know Wes is going to go out there and be like slaying ass left and right.
Again,
it's the unknown.
You're attributing like Bree's normal feelings to something that is like that could be changing in the future.
He's going to be giving out beard tickles.
I still haven't really made my main point, which is it works. You said communication spot, but when I say the rules is, let's say, Spot, you and Kristen agreed to be swingers. Now, swingers meaning with other couples, sex parties, other couples, all that whole thing, resorts, whatever, right?
Oh.
Here's the deal. If you guys meet up with another couple, Frank and Becky met up with Spot and Kristen. They had a good time. They called a day. They're safe. They move on. You know what?
Inclusive.
Now, here's what happens. If that happens, I think they could function. I think they'd be like, that's their thing. Now, if all of a sudden, on the sly, Frank's like, hey, Kristen, let's meet up without the spouses. I think a lot of times...
No, it's called cheating.
No, yeah, I think a lot of times in swinger situations, the door is opened enough where there's a difference between cheating and swinging when people are living that lifestyle.
I completely agree.
Like swinging's like, yo, me and my girl and you and your girl, let's have fun. No strings attached. Versus, I liked her. Let me secretly call her now. That is deceptive.
Yes.
That's where it goes wrong.
While I've never done any of this, I do find it increasingly intriguing.
Is she your wife?
It's taking a little convincing. But
where do you think the convincing is? Like, do you think she'll be jealous? Or you think she doesn't want other dudes?
I don't know. I just feel like she's a little conservative and reserved, and sees this as like something that's not quite for her.
What gives that up? Her Donald Trump panties?
Number one sign she's conservative.
But like, here I look at it.
Mike Pence yoga pants. Her Rick DeSantis foam finger?
It's got to be it.
Oh, man.
Her Tucker Carlson mug.
It's so funny because she's like the most liberal person ever.
Yeah.
It's intriguing, especially, because as I've said many a time, I just feel like, kids aren't in the cards for me. So it seems like, and now I need to fill my time with something else. So this seems pretty interesting. For her, I just think she's conservative. I also feel like she doesn't feel like she's up to par of other people. Like she doesn't feel like she can roll. And
trust me, your wife is hotter than 90% of the people probably in the swinging community. You've been to the Green Door. For every decent looking person we saw at that sex club spot when we all walked around together.
It would have to be a very controlled environment and anything. So it's interesting, but it's, and also too, it's like, it's great on paper and in thought, but you never know how you're going to act in the moment. So it's like, I might be like, yeah, let's do it. And then I show up and she's like, yeah. And I'm like,
I have a question.
Well, hold on. We live by a certain set of rules and standards that were set, many moons ago. What would it take for like what would it take, honestly?
A new world order, brother?
No, what would it take to be like, listen, guys, the way we've been doing things are all wrong.
A couple generations, to be honest. I think it's already happened.
You don't think it could be...
People used to sleep in different beds on TV.
Plus,
now there's like gay people kissing on TV. There's transgender rights and all. Like, think of where we've come in 2 generations. Within 2 more generations, when you're an old guy, you know how old people are always confused? Because in 2 generations from now, kids are going to be like, they're going to do whatever the hell they want, and you're going to be like the old guy that's confused. Like, back in my day, people were monogamous.
We lived like the penguins.
I also think...
You don't live like penguins, kids.
Penguins. Yeah. We should be more like the penguins.
You're a bunch of fucking rabbits, just fucking everything.
As they put me in a straitjacket.
Bring him your pebble and you'll be together for life. A pebble. A pebble.
Otters, they link arms so they will float away from each other.
I love otters. I think also as Americans too, we're a little Americans. We're a little bit more uptight about sex. I think other cultures are a little bit lax, Europeans especially.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we're a little bit more uptight about things. So, I mean, I don't disagree. Like,
I have a question.
I completely believe in like a family unit, and I believe in finding a partner to experience life with.
Oh, please!
But it doesn't mean you can't dip your
the vows have to be be different. You're not committing to that person. It's going to be that. It's definitely going to be that.
Hey,
it has to be that.
I have a pregunta for you.
I commit to
Rich,
raising a family with you, but I don't commit to one vagina for the rest of my life.
I think I'll tell you what.
That's where the future is.
I'm not saying I'd push for it hard, but if I didn't have a family and it was just Sarah and I were like, yeah, we're not going to have kids.
Oh, you'd totally be in this one.
I feel like
you'd be fucking.
I feel like having a family unit and being like a family unit and a role model to my kids and trying to do the right thing in a family unit is what you do when you got kids. I feel like if I was like a married couple that was like, if I was you and Kristen or like Kristen or like Mike and Shannon, like couples that didn't have kids, I'd be like, yeah, like what do you guys limit each other for?
Rich would be going to keep parties at the Lovejoys next door. Why would we what? Well, limit each other.
Yeah. Spot. My question is this: what about not banging? Hear me out. How do you feel about you and Kristen? How you said you're a little intrigued and she might not be? What about, hear me, listen for a second.
She's like slightly intrigued. I just need to
That's why I'm asking. Let me ask you
stop
this.
staring at Sophia Beverly's tatties on social media.
I don't know if I could handle that.
Spot, follow this. What if it was, what would a good word for like swinging light be? Like a little park bench? Like what, instead of full up swinging? Like swanging? I don't know. What if it was like,
let him figure this out.
I'm trying to think like what a word would be for swinging light. No sex. No oral sex. I'm talking like, what if you and your significant other went out and you're like cool with like, yo, let's like make out with other people and be touchy-feely and just be like have like what would, I don't even know what that would mean. Because you might say, well, what's that worth? Like, you know the thrill of going to a bar?
Tony says it's emotionally swinging, which I think, and I agree with him, is much more dangerous. You just want to make it about the act and
Rich just wants to get like his junior high school rocks off. It sounds like.
Yeah, you want to make it more.
He wants
you
to try
make it like to me.
I'm not saying. I think
to me it's about physical enjoyment.
No,
Rich wants a handy and he wants to feel some tatties.
No. I'm saying like I think the idea of that initial like, ooh, look at her, look at him, look at that, and people get that initial like reaction at a bar. Like,
oh, you want validation.
That's probably part of it, but I'm saying I think that's. But
You
everyone
just wanna
does.
show people your penis to see the reaction.
What if you said to Kristen? What if you said to Kristen, let's be swingers light, where you guys could like make out with other people, be up on people, but you're not gonna like have sex.
Did you say baby carrots?
And I think that's an option too. Like I don't think you have to like go full in, balls to the wall, literally and figuratively. But I think you
Accept
can
style.
Yeah, you can probably like for women it's different, obviously.
I'll be honest, when I was a single guy, sometimes I would enjoy making out with a girl more at the bar than actually having sex with her, because the make out at the bar was more of the like conquer, like the
got you where I want you.
Well, I feel like you feel the same way, because Covino would be like, I remember going to the bar with Covino, like, who's the hottest girl here? And Covino like, that girl's the hottest girl at the bar. Now, if by the end of the night, if Covino was having a drink with her, making out, I feel like that is more of the payoff than being like, all right, now I'm going to go bang her. Like, that's great and all, but you don't think the validation and the fun of the chase is actually equally intriguing?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It's like, Kristen has my whole heart.
Maybe swingers light could be like a tier. Like, and the plus could be
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kristen has my whole heart. Doesn't mean women can't have my dick.
Dang, bro. Can we isolate that and send it to her? MP3? Let's let her hear that.
I'm sure Jordan will text her.
No. I think it's going to be a much different place when our kids. I mean, I'm stating the obvious here. It's just trying to predict what it will be.
Yeah, it'll be
I think it'll be close to what I said before, because I think everyone's going to agree.
Free love.
A lot of these kids are going to be
comeback.
A lot of these kids are going to be coming up in broken families because they've realized that marriage is difficult, but they're going to realize that a family unit is important. So they keep the family unit important. They commit to the family, but not to the sexual needs of one person.
And I feel like this becomes something, at least from what I've observed,
which makes kind of sense.
It becomes something that you do together, much like taking a trip together. It becomes an act you do together and you bond over. So it's really about strengthening the bond you have with your partner by experiencing this excitement and joy and taboo and all this stuff with other people. So you're strengthening the bond together by going out and having fun. So,
you ever have a close call?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Didn't you? Didn't you have a couple? Then weren't you up in like upstate New York and some couple was like hanging with you guys and you're like, Kristen, I think they want to swim with us.
Today, if only I had that youth that I had 10, 15 years ago when we were essentially like recruited.
A couple invited you to hang.
We were recruited. We were with a group of people, but my wife and I were specifically recruited because the guy approached us because his girl was into Kristen, which is usually how it works. Even though he offered up her for me, but we were still just dating. Kristen wasn't into it.
I have a question.
We passed on it, even though we went back and they pulled out 4 glasses.
I have a follow-up.
There were a ton of people there. They pulled out 4 glasses to make drinks.
Ooh.
Like we were going to stay.
I feel like a follow-up question is needed here.
Yes.
Would you be? Covino's more conservative. I could tell by his Ronald Reagan his Ronald Reagan boxer briefs.
Did you say Juby? Mexican Ghostbusters are here.
Can't you have them come like?
I'm not.
Oh,
no,
actually,
I
you know
can't
what?
spot. The answer is
you know
no.
what?
You want the answer?
They're here at the right time. To be
You want
honest,
the answer?
No, they're here at the right time. No questions.
I'm not, I can't.
We're the ones running late.
You do realize like my landscaper doesn't come to just me. He has like a route and
have them come a little later.
A system. I can't be like, hey, can you
say, hey, can you go to another house first and then come here just on Wednesdays?
Okay, pose your question.
I bet you other people.
I know you're more conservative because I've seen
Myrtle
your,
down the street isn't doing a radio show.
I've seen your. I saw your Newt Gingrich. No, he's. I've seen your. I forget it.
Good try, Rich.
Would you be okay bringing in another woman, but you didn't get to touch her?
Yes. Yeah.
No. Sarah just said no.
Wait.
She must have missed the whole beginning of the conversation. I'm surprised that's her reaction.
Stank eye too, though.
I think She didn't. I don't think she knew there was a second half to that sentence.
Oh.
She's like,
would you be cool bringing in another? Would you be okay bringing in another woman? If Spot.
Yep.
You, Kristen, and another woman. Now, you didn't get to touch the woman.
Yep.
The woman didn't touch you, but it was simply for Kristen's enjoyment. Would you be like, would it be too much of a tease where it's like, whoa, hold on, there's another woman here, but like, I'm just here?
I said this to Kristen recently. I'm like, I'd be okay if you wanted to experience something and I was able to watch, not with another dude though. I'm not into that. I'm not Will Smith. I'm not enjoying watching. I don't even want to know.
All right, I'll give you one more hypothetical. One more hypothetical.
Even the thought of her with another dude, like, enrages me.
Oh, so then you can never do this.
But like another woman, yes.
I have a
I'd
question.
be okay with that.
What if it was a hot girl?
It's a different experience. Soft.
Pick a hot girl you love, Spot, in your mind.
You know, they can do whatever girls do together.
Imagine some hot girl in your mind that you would love to see your wife with. Okay, you got it?
You know what? My wife's too good for Sophia Beverly. I have to picture someone else.
Okay, let's say it's some hot girl with your wife.
Yeah.
Would you be okay
Picture
with
Katie
it?
Holmes in her prime.
Would you be okay with it if that
like
girl?
Tony said earlier, Katie Holmes and The Gift.
Okay, Katie Holmes. Would you be okay if while this is going down, her dude was sitting in the corner whacking off?
Both like, am I there too?
You and the dude were both there just whacking off, like watching your girls.
No, that would make me feel weird because I would have to be a single girl because I wouldn't want to lock eyes with another dude.
What if it was another? What if you met another couple? What if you met another hot couple?
Like Covino, look at me. Imagine if we were like locked eyes while like two chicks were going at it.
I think the trick is to focus on one eye.
Is that it? That's my trick.
Makes it less awkward.
That's my trick.
That's your eye contact trick in a meeting. And I think it works when you're masturbating in a weird session.
I don't mean the one eye between my legs.
Yeah.
Sarah, come in. Come in, Sarah.
Sarah's like, come in. Sarah's in her jammies, not feeling good today.
I'm like feeling like crap.
Oh, come on.
You would not be able to sit and watch. You'd be like, oh, let me just get close on the bed.
Dip down.
Oh, let me assist. No, there's
Let me assist is a great fucking entry line.
Can I give you a hand with that?
Can I help you?
Can I just poke a cheek?
Sarah, I'm a hero
Can I
for
just
not.
slap a little bit?
I'm a hero.
Can I just be a slapper, please?
I'm a hero.
No.
I'm a hero.
I know. You are. And no.
Hi, Ben.
Your son is in here.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Oh, how would you bring a kid in during this conversation? I'm calling Dyfus.
Yeah, see what happens?
Ah!
No.
So Spot.
Ben wants to swing.
Ben's gonna be a little swinger.
Sarah's
Gonna be a
like,
little swinger.
no.
See it in his eye.
He's already swinging that hog around.
He's a little outlaw, this kid.
So
A little swinging outlaw.
I just wonder if you can handle that, Spot. You and your wife and another woman.
He's got no pants on already.
Your wife and another woman. You're like, okay, cool. Oh, there's Ben. He put fart on the wall. But your wife with another woman. But the catch is her dude has to be like in the room.
Nah, I'm not doing that.
Spanking it.
Nope. I don't want to see another dude. I don't want to lock eyes with another dude.
Rich and his ADHD.
Sorry, Rich.
Cannot just sit there.
Maybe next time.
I don't know. I'll tell you what, man. Interesting conversation. And it comes up because that show is reality television trying to just figure how can we push the envelope next step. And it's all couples that were sent somewhere. All couples sent to a retreat, a resort. And all these couples, you know what they're told? They're told, you're all open to swinging? Oh, have fun. And then you see these people like devastated, probably like, I thought I could handle it, but I can't. And people crying and other people banging. And
the thing is, the old school set of rules that worked for our grandparents.
Yeah.
Just, again, were set and they worked in a time where they didn't have as many options as people do today. People are disposable today. We don't agree?
Yeah.
This isn't working? All right, I'll find someone else who works with me a little better.
Yeah.
You know, you can move on much easier. So it's easy to judge. I do agree. It's easy to judge. You see old people. I saw a lot of older people saying, yeah, exactly, Will Smith, because you have no foundation, you know, but, yo, man, he lives in a different time. He's not an old guy with no options.
That whole...
everybody has these options that didn't exist before.
I always forget the story.
Got to keep that in mind.
Entanglement with August.
Hmm?
Did he know about that beforehand, or was it...
He did, but I didn't think he thought it would come out.
There's
but
a lot
then
of
again, Will Smith
speculation.
had relations with other women, but it was part of the, like, don't make me look stupid. Was that sort of their rule?
Yeah.
the future of relationships.
All right. Well, on that note,
it all ties into the alien thing, though.
Smut.
Because maybe they come down and they say, you got it all wrong.
Why do you have one partner?
And we're thinking, what, our diets, our transportation? Like, what do you mean?
No. You're loyal penises.
Right.
What do you mean? To aliens?
You're
Why
meant to
one
explore.
person?
Now you guys are natural. We created you to be explorers.
You know what it is?
You're not made for one person.
Relationships.
You're like, oh, really?
I don't think it's necessarily about people being disposable. I think it's that relationships require too much work. It's something they never tell you until you're in it.
It's like, dude, do you know what it is? It's simple.
But I think this generation, much like with the workforce, when they go to a job and they're like, I don't like this job, I'm just going to leave. And they don't even give notice. They're just like, I'm not coming in tomorrow. That's what they do with relationships too.
It's way
they think
simpler.
they can just walk
Yeah, but
away.
once you fuck it up, it's easier to just start a new one.
It's way simpler than you're making it sound. It's simply this. It's always intriguing when it's something or someone new. That's anything. It's like, have you been watching the same TV? If you've had the same TV for years and someone's like, yeah, dude, you want this new curved flat screen? You're like, ooh, interesting. It's new. Yo, I got
How curved?
How curved?
Yeah,
How
dude.
curvy
I have
is
new
that screen?
patio furniture. Oh, let me check it out.
People's definitions of curvy are always a little different.
Yeah.
You got an extra curvy screen.
Curvy. I
Right
guess,
after your
yeah, I
last
guess
TV.
round is a curve.
Every you got a new car. People love new. So it sounds terrible, but when you've been with someone a long time, the concept of like new, like a new person touching me touching a new person being intrigued by me. That's why it's intriguing. I don't think it has anything to do with like anything other than new.
You also have to factor in how men and women handle emotions different. Most men could put their emotions aside, get their rocks off, and still be in love and keep their family together. A woman leads with emotions in that way, or traditionally, who knows what women in the future will be like.
I wonder
But a
if you
guy
had-
could totally
What's the passcode on your phone?
put his feelings aside and do whatever he
ask
wants.
yourself this question, and then we'll go because it's getting late. Ask yourself this question as a man or a woman, because I feel like the answers, like you said, will be different. I think Covino's right arm.
Is that the one he pulled?
It's my chest, man.
His chest.
Oof. I don't know what's
I
going
think
on.
if you ask 100 guys, hey, 100 guys, can you hook up with another woman other than your wife and it have zero reflection on how much you love your wife?
Yes.
I think 100 guys would be like, yeah, absolutely.
100%.
You ask a woman, can you have sex with someone other than your husband and it be nothing? I think a lot of women would say no.
The answer used to be
I agree.
no, but I think that's changing.
It's changing. But I think I
think it's definitely changing.
I agree.
Once that playing field levels out a little bit,
women assign.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
Covino just nailed the whole conversation.
Women assign more emotional connection to.
They used to,
sex.
though.
And as women are becoming more sexually liberated more than ever before, and they're looking at
interacting
sex,
more and thinking more like men have thought about these things for years and generations.
Honestly, what prevents most people from doing these scandalous things? What prevents them? Probably their wives or girlfriends.
Yeah.
So if every wife or girlfriend's like, yeah, I'm game too, how many people will be like, oh, shit, we're doing this? There's your answer. Have a great night. Don't forget to tip your waitresses.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at Covino and Rich. We'll send out the link. We're going to be on Felipe Esparza's podcast tonight. So, hey, let's show our value. I'd love to have a lot of you guys come and hang out and participate on his podcast as we do it live. Comedian Felipe Esparza tonight. Join us. Be there or be lame.
We'll see you then. Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Goodbye.